right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC station. Nobody in Kansas City has sports like 96.5 The Fan.
Right side throw, touchdown! Kansas City! A 3-yard touchdown pass in overtime. Kansas City wins the game.
Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
Back-to-back best sports talk hosts as voted on in the Pitch magazine.
Live from the Fan Studios. Here's CDOT.
Let's do this. Another day, another dollar, another edition of The Drive. You are listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. My name is Carrington Harrison. Excited to be here with you as we are taking you up until 6 o'clock today. You know what? We are going to talk a little bit of Royals baseball today. Not now. There's no random lineup coming. We have retired that for 2025, but I do have a Royals thought that I want to share with you guys before the show is up. There is a story out of college basketball that I also want to touch on today. We are in that midweek, so we're far away from week 3, not yet there for week 4. So we're going to do some different things today to get you ready for the game coming up on Sunday against the Baltimore Ravens. We're also going to have the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, is going to be on the show. I got a chance to talk to him earlier today. I'll play that conversation for you coming up at 3:15. Jeff Schwartz, former right tackle in the National Football League, is also going to join us on the show today as well. We'll get his thoughts on the Chiefs offense and what they could do to run the football more effectively. We got a lot planned in today's show. Before we do any of that, I need to remind you guys of a couple of things. Number one, I need you listening to The Drive each day at 2 o'clock right here on 96.5 The Fan. Number two, I need you to tell one friend to check out the show. I mean, it'd be great if you could tell 2 people, but if you could just tell one person to check out the show, you know what? I would appreciate it. And number 3, and this is the most important, I need you to remember that the open of the show is brought to you by our friends over at The Other Place with great food specials, great drink specials. If you're looking for a place to watch some big-time college football this weekend, Kansas City is also at home. If you're looking for a place to watch that 3:25 game on Sunday with some amazing specials, look no further than our friends over at The Other Place. They got 5 locations around town, so you are not too far from the best sports bar in the city. So I want to go back in our time machine for just a little bit. Now, you heard us play this yesterday, but we have an important update. This was Matt Nagy. This was the offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs on September 11th. He was asked about Jawaan Taylor and the penalties. Here's what he said.
Speaking to the obvious, the penalties, that can't happen. And so that's where we're at. We've made it loud and clear. Jawaan knows that. He understands it. It's something that, especially in a moment like that in that game when things are a little bit off kilter now with the personnel, and you start to move the ball, you have a couple positive plays, and then boom, a penalty or a second. So 3 penalties and a hold, not good enough. He knows that. When there's no one hiding from it, he's not hiding from it. He understands what's expected, and I think he's ready for that challenge here as we go.
So this is what we all wanted to hear. These penalties are not going to be accepted. He knows he has to get better. There's no answer for it. There's no excuse for it. Well, since then, he has committed 3 penalties. He committed a penalty that wiped out a Chiefs first down, and the drive stalled largely because of another Jawaan Taylor penalty. Well, now Andy Reid meets with the media on Wednesdays for his first time getting ready for the new week, and one of the early questions in the press conference is, hey, what about your right tackle? You guys said a couple of weeks ago that these penalties were not going to be accepted. You guys said a couple of weeks ago that Jawaan Taylor needed to be better. He has committed a penalty in every game that you have had so far this season. He, again, is the most penalized player so far in the National Football League. Here's what Andy Reid said earlier today about Jawaan Taylor.
You know, when he doesn't have the penalties, his percentage has been good. So, you could argue one of the better tackles in his pass protection game. So I'm conscious of that, and then I'll take care of it from there.
Okay. Maybe you guys hear those comments a little differently than I hear them. I hear another week of these are something that we can live with. Okay. I mean, I don't know what to do anymore when it comes to Jawaan Taylor. I can give you all the stats until I'm blue in the face. We can talk about the one game 3 years ago in which Chris Collinsworth called it out. We can ask the coaching staff why, even though we feel like there is an emphasis on this player, even though we know that there is more of a watchful eye on this player, how this problem has not been corrected. Jawaan Taylor has now played 44 games, if you include the postseason, with the Kansas City Chiefs, and we are still talking about something that happened in his first game with the Chiefs that we don't feel has been improved in game 44, heading into game 45. I don't know what else you guys want me to do when it comes to Jawaan Taylor. I think they gave us our answer. They gave us our answer. When he doesn't commit the penalties, we feel like he grades out as a positive. Now, this is with everybody, anything. You have to live with the positives and you have to live with the negatives. I think Andy Reid is telling you in that clip, we feel like we can live with the negatives because the positives outweigh it, and we feel like we have everything else under control. I mean, I disagree with them. I don't think it's under control. For him to have committed 7 penalties so far through the first 3 weeks of the season, and 3 of those penalties have been on third down, I think it is a problem. I think it is part of the problem with the offense. And I think it comes off a little differently this year is you have an exit plan. You have an exit strategy. If you look at the contract and the financials, I don't believe that Jawaan Taylor is going to be starting at right tackle for them. I don't think that he is going to be on the team next year. So the same way that we see teams make changes at quarterback or change at a running back, why are the Chiefs so hesitant to make that change at right tackle right now when what their offense really needs is to eliminate mistakes, and you have an alternative to a player that commits more mistakes than anybody else on your offense? So I tell you guys all the time, sometimes I can give you my opinion on things. Sometimes I just give you my interpretation of things. Sometimes it's my job to tell you how it is. And maybe I need to receive that message for myself, because all the complaining that I've done about Jawaan Taylor, all the complaining that you potentially have done about Jawaan Taylor, the Chiefs have given you the answer. He's our right tackle. They are not starting Jalen Moore. Now, could something change? Absolutely. But I think Andy going up there and phrasing it in the way that he phrased it answered the question heading into week 4 against the Baltimore Ravens. They're obviously aware of the penalty problem with Jawaan Taylor, and they think the positive grade that he gives them in pass protection, they think that outweighs the 1 or 2 potential penalties that you get a game from Jawaan Taylor. I think that was their official stance today, Rob.
I think I agree with you. I believe that's their official stance. I will say this, because I haven't looked at the text line, but I assume the text line has the same thought you did and the same thought I did. How? How can you continue to stick it out? How can you preach accountability but keep riding it out with Jawaan Taylor? How can Andy Reid, who has forgotten more about football than I will ever know, go up there and say, well, yeah, outside the penalties, you look at the numbers, he's really good. But the penalties exist, coach. They are part of the story. Yeah, if that didn't happen, the outcome would be different. But they do exist. That's reality. So it's possible the reason they're sticking with him isn't because they love him or they think they can coach the penalties away or any of those things. It's possible that Jalen Moore is just not good. It's possible that Andy Reid can't walk to the podium and goes, guys, listen, I see practice. I'm willing to deal with the penalties because Jalen Moore's no good. It's possible that's the truth, but he's never going to say that at a press conference, because saying that we're going to clean up the penalties and obviously knows the penalty problem and, outside of the penalties, he's really good. Yeah, the penalties are a major part of the story here, and to act like they aren't and then say we're going to stick it out is just crazy to me. So I'm open to the idea that maybe it's Jalen Moore is bad and they have to stick it out because there is no other logical reason why you wouldn't at least entertain a change.
I think that's the part of this. In the Jalen Moore, I think they're 2 separate things, and we can address both of them here. The first thing is the logic behind that is so flawed to me, because if you change the outcome of anything, then obviously we have a different feeling. Like, it is impossible to say, well, if you take away all the negative plays, then everything's all good. Well, then, yeah. That's the argument we have. Well, if the Chiefs had done this, or that's why they lost. Like, you can't change the circumstances of why someone lost and then make them to win when that's the reason why they lost. I feel like that's what we do. Well, if you eliminate the plays that we complain about when Jawaan Taylor, then we wouldn't complain anymore. But he keeps committing those penalties. Those plays continue to happen. They are a negative for your team. I don't know if I'm ready to say that when it comes to Jalen Moore. I definitely get how someone could come to that conclusion with Jalen Moore. I don't think that's it. I really think the Chiefs are sitting there looking at it, and regardless of how I feel, regardless of how you feel, they have told you just about at every single turn, we believe in Jawaan Taylor. You look at his contract, you look at the way that they have restructured it, that made it essentially impossible for them to cut him this year. It's kind of one of those things where, you know, with Justin Watson, fans felt some way, the team felt another way. With Daniel Sorensen, team felt one way, fans felt another way. I mean, this just feels like the exact same argument in a different packaging. The way that I feel about Jawaan Taylor and the way that they feel about Jawaan Taylor are just not aligned with each other. Everything that they have done for the last 3 years shows you how much they believe in him and how much they believe this comment from Andy Reid. Yes, we know the penalties are a problem, but we think the totality of who he is as a player and the good that he gives you outweighs those negative 1 or 2 plays. Now, I would just say, then what are we talking about with accountability? Because it just doesn't sound like the penalty issue has been resolved, and it sounds like something that they can just live with. What frustrates me, especially when we are talking about a game of razor-thin margins, and the Chiefs used to have the talent, ability, quick strike offense to be able to overcome those things. These are the things that get you beat right now while you're not operating at full capacity. It's a missed extra point. It's a holding call on the 3rd down. It's an illegal procedure penalty that turns a 3rd and 4 into a 3rd and 9 and changes the course of the game. Those 1 or 2 plays are the reason why you can potentially lose on Sunday to the Ravens. And the Chiefs have just quite simply come out with the statement basically of, we understand that, but we think that he is part of the solution of helping turn this thing around. How do you guys perceive what Andy Reid had to say? We'll continue to talk about it on the other side, and we'll continue to also touch on the top story in the National Football League. The Giants have made a change at quarterback. Keep it right here, it's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Tune in Mondays at 4 to hear the play-by-play voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holtis, on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan.
Another summer is ended, and you may have noticed that your energy is lower, your workouts aren't as productive, perhaps you aren't sleeping as well and feel foggy all the time, maybe even your sex drive is off. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're experiencing some or all of these symptoms, it's likely you have low testosterone. And if that's what's going on with you, don't wait. You need to call us at Heartland Men's Health and get treated for your low T, because living with low testosterone is no way to live. With our low T treatments, if you're like most guys, your life will change considerably. Improved sleep, better energy, greater gains in the gym, better mental clarity, and your sex drive will likely improve as well. Plus, most men see these results in just a few weeks. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes PSA and T-test and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Century Roofing remains the best roofing company to call for insurance claims from storm damage, roof repair, and inspections throughout Kansas City. They were just voted as both the best roofing company in Johnson County for the 4th straight year and the best roofing company in all of Kansas City by readers of the Johnson County Post and the KC Star. So trust the pillars of strength and go with locally owned and female-owned Century Roofing at CenturyRoofingKC.com.
Century Roofing, trust the pillars of strength.
Man, if your stream isn't as strong as it used to be, or you're taking more breaks to the bathroom than the last 2 minutes of a televised football game,
there's another timeout. We'll be back after this.
It's time to get checked. An enlarged prostate, or BPH, could be the cause. And Kansas City Urology Care is here to help. Fast answers, trusted care. Don't wait. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced urology team. Visit kcuc.com today. At KCUC, you see the best in KC.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Brew Day is back. Every Wednesday throughout September, we're celebrating one of our most beloved things, beer. Get to your favorite lodge and score 29-degree, 22-ounce Twin Peaks brews on draft for just $3.99 all day.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next-day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Sports fans, listen up. 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer, and bladder leaks can be a side effect. That's why Depend is teaming up with the Prostate Cancer Foundation to encourage screening. Because health is a long game, and it's yours to win. Now here's the cool part. Through November, Depend is contributing up to $300,000 to prostate cancer research by donating 25 cents for every purchase of Depend shields, guards, and Real Fit products. Void in Mississippi. Learn more at Depend.com.
Dude, did you order the new iPhone 17 Pro? Got it from Verizon, the best 5G network in America. I've never looked so good.
You look the same.
But with this camera, everything looks better, especially me.
You haven't changed your hair in 15 years. Selfies? Check, please.
New and existing customers can get the new iPhone 17 Pro, designed to be the most powerful iPhone ever. With eligible phone trade-in and unlimited ultimate. Any condition guaranteed. Best 5G source root metrics data, United States, 1H 2025. All rights reserved. Trade-in and additional terms apply for all offers. See Verizon.com for details.
We get it. Attention spans just aren't what they used to be. Heads in social media and eyes on Netflix. But what do people do with their ears? Well, for one, they're listening to audio. Americans spend 4.4 hours with audio every day. Oh, and you want the proof? Well, you just sat through this ad that's now approaching 30 seconds. What could you say to a potential customer in 30 seconds? Let Odyssey put together a media plan tailor-made for your unique marketing needs. Advertise with Odyssey. Visit ads.odyssey.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Hey, it's Juju Smith-Schuster from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
I want to read a couple of these texts really quickly. We were talking about this in the open. Matt Nagy a couple of weeks ago said that the penalties from Jawaan Taylor are unacceptable and he has to clean them up. He has committed a penalty in the 2 games since then. He committed a penalty in Sunday's game. It was a 3rd and 12. Patrick Mahomes ran for 17 yards. There was a penalty on Jawaan Taylor that erased the first down. The Chiefs ended up not getting points on the drive. Andy Reid was asked about it today. Here's what he said regarding Jawaan Taylor.
You know, when he doesn't have the penalties, his percentage has been good. So you know, you could argue one of the better tackles in his pass protection game. You know, so. I'm conscious of that, and then I'll take care of it from there.
If it wasn't for the penalties, the pass protection has been very good. He is the most penalized player in the NFL since joining the Kansas City Chiefs by a fairly wide margin. He has been penalized, I believe, 46 times so far since joining the Kansas City Chiefs in the 2+ years since he's been here. No other player in the National Football League has been penalized at least 30 times. So we are talking about number one with a wide margin right now for the Chiefs right tackle. I want to read a couple of these texts and we'll move on. Text line 913-586-7965. Andy Reid is saying if the tree wasn't in my way, I have a clear shot to the green. Well, the tree is there. You can't move it. Someone else on the text line says, C-Dot, a phrase that you use, the grass isn't always greener. Andy has earned my trust. If he believes replacing Taylor would hurt the line more than it would help, then I'm going to continue to ride with him. That is a logic that I would agree with for the most part. If I didn't feel like they had their 2026 right tackle currently on the roster, if you want to project this thing out just a little bit, I am guessing that you probably have the Chiefs with the exact same offensive line they have now for next year, and you subtract Jawaan Taylor and you would insert Jalen Moore. If the Chiefs didn't have a different option, I'd have a different opinion. If we were talking about Wanya Morris being their right tackle that would step in, I don't know if I would feel so strongly about this. If we were talking about moving Kingsley over to right tackle, then I would have a different opinion. But we're talking about their big swing in free agency. The Chiefs did not spend a lot of their resources on free agents this year. The 3 agents that they brought in Jalen Moore, who hasn't played yet so far this season. They brought in Elijah Mitchell, who has been inactive so far, and Christian Fulton. That was kind of it for this team. So if you were telling me that despite the 7 penalties that he has created in the first 3 games of this season, if you were telling me that you're not 100% sure that Jalen Moore is a better right tackle than them, then you got problems in 2025 and 2026 for what we're talking about at right tackle. So that's where, if your stance is going to be, man, the grass isn't always greener, at some point they're just going to move on from Jawaan Taylor. Are we expecting to see a dip at right tackle then? Because that's what it sounds like to me then, if they're afraid to go do it. At this point, we have to go with the sunken cost fallacy. They're going to spend money on one of those 2 players to not play. So it's either going to be Jawaan Taylor because they're not doing anything with Joshua Simmons on that left side, or they're doing it with Jalen Moore. So right now, it's a very simple, who do you think is the best option? If they think that Jawaan Taylor is the best option for them at right tackle, then maybe we need to talk about them restructuring his deal at the end of the season and then going on to play next season. So I just think that's something to keep in mind, and that is something to note with this team. Let me play for you guys what Phil Simms had to say. He was on Shine on Sports talking about, I still think, the top story right now in the National Football League. Russell Wilson has been sat down after 3 games as the quarterback for the New York Giants, and they are going to Jackson Dart to be their starting quarterback. Here's Phil Simms on Shine on Sports.
I'm sitting at home watching the Kansas City game. I see all the empty seats. Okay, the crowd they're ready to boo. I think they came there to cheer, but they kind of saw, here we go again game. That's what it reminded me of. Here we go again. And then Russell Wilson, just some bad decisions, a lot of bad throws. It was time to do it. Now, I always say this too, Adam, not to talk too long here, I'm sorry. But owners can do a couple things. They can count to 11. I learned this from Bill Parcells. They can count to, in other words, you better have 11 people on the field at all time and don't have 9 or 10 have to call a timeout because that. But they know empty seats too. Mm-hmm. And you got to listen to the public sometimes. When they don't show up, that's a big deal. And I would say if Jackson Dart was not starting this week, we would have saw 20. I can't put a number on it. I would say 20 or 30,000 empty seats there in Giant Stadium, which the Mara family, the Tisch family, of course they don't want to see that.
This is what I don't understand when we have these debates and conversations around the league. Every team that has older veteran and young first-round pick, they say the same things in August. We're going to bring him along slow. We don't want to hinder his development. This is a good bridge quarterback, a veteran that can help show him the ropes. I mean, we're going to bring him along slowly. Everybody says this, and nobody sticks to the plan. We're not even at October yet. They saw one bad drive against Kansas City at the end of the game and then determined, nope, can't do this anymore. We got to listen to the fans. The fans were telling you to do this back in August, and you guys were emphatic that this wasn't going to be the case. It's almost like when you watch a scary movie, and we've all have seen this before. You know how in a scary movie, when the pretty girl locks the door at some point, and they always do that shot where they show you them locking the door. And as they're watching the movie, you think, oh, that door's going to need to be unlocked later. Like, the bad guy's going to run in there, and she's going to need to go to the door, and she's going to be jiggling with the handle, trying to figure out how to get out, and that's probably going to lead to her demise. Like, can't we all see whenever, like, this is going to happen this upcoming offseason? Somebody's going to draft Garrett Nussmeier. Somebody's going to draft Cade Klubnik or Lenore Sellers or whomever the great college quarterback prospect is going to be. And they're going to do this same thing. Well, I mean, hey, we got Carson Wentz to start, And Carson Wentz is the veteran that knows the system, and we're going to give our young guy all the time to develop. And then week 4, week 5, we all know what's going to happen. That guy's going to be the guy that he's been for the last 5-6 years of his career. You're going to move on and you're going to take the guy that gives you hope and energizes your fan base. I can give you dozens of examples of which this has happened. We've seen very few teams with the discipline and the roster to really stick to their plan. So if you know this from the beginning, why did you waste the first 3 weeks of the season with Russell Wilson? That didn't get you anywhere. It didn't gain anything. I was listening to Deion Sanders. He was on the Nightcap podcast, and he said this. He said, in all my life, at the end of a game, if I was on the bench, I never said to myself, man, I learned so much today. Because teaching and the experience of playing is the only true teacher in all of this. The only way you're going to find out what you got with Jackson Dart is by playing him in these games. And I know this is a tough part of the schedule, so you don't want to do it. At some point, he's either going to sink or swim. So the Giants are making the right decision. They should have made this decision back in August and not wasted time splitting up the reps and just giving all of them to what their future is going to be.
Do you know what I'm growing very sick and tired of hearing about on these broadcasts? Because we watch a lot of national covered NFL games, ESPN, NBC, whoever, and they all have the same spiel about the young quarterback who's sitting behind. And they all point to one moment in time. Well, I don't know if you know, but Patrick Mahomes sat out the first 16 games of his, or 15 games of his NFL career, and look how great he is. Do you know why I'm tired of hearing about that? The Chiefs were a very unique situation. They were, I believe, 10-6. They may have been 11-5 that year, and they won the division with Alex Smith. They were, by all metrics, not great, but good enough where you didn't feel the pressure to make the change. They also had a coach who had been in the NFL for so long and had so much success in the league, you had to trust his judgment. That is an outlier. Every other time you're talking about where the veteran is bad, it's usually a coach we don't trust and a veteran we don't think is any good, and the team is flailing around. We'll use the Giants as the example. Why did the Giants mess around with Russell Wilson for 2 weeks? Brian Daboll's likely fired no matter if they're bad, so why not try Jackson Dart? It's not like in 3 weeks of practice, Jackson Dart went from incompetent to a star. He probably is what he is after 3 weeks, and if he's bad, Daboll's fired and they're going to reset anyway. So I'm tired of all these national broadcasts, everyone saying, well, Patrick Mahomes sat out, so that's how everyone should do it. Not everyone has the exact situation the Chiefs were in, and more times than not, teams aren't in that situation, so play the kid and try to save your jobs.
This has worked in 2 situations in the last 25 years. I'm serious. This has worked for 2 teams. This has worked for Green Bay. This has worked for Kansas City. It has not worked for anybody else. Nobody. We're going to let them sit and watch them grow and watch them develop. Who has it helped? You either can play or you can't. And yes, you might go through some early season struggles. Jared Goff struggled early on in his career. You know what? Jared Goff eventually figured it out because he can play. So this was a waste of everybody's time. I'm happy they finally got to the end equation. That's the right thing to do. It made the most sense for everybody. Good luck to the New York Giants as they play their young guy and they see what they got. And let's see if he can play. Let's see if he's their future quarterback. Let's see if he's somebody that you should build around and continue to move forward. Or you get the 3rd overall pick, and now you got a real big decision at the end of the year. You can either give up on Jackson Dart and potentially move him or draft your quarterback. But you got to keep firing. You got to keep taking shots. And starting Russell Wilson or Jameis Winston, or none of them are getting you to the ultimate goal of where you were trying to be, which is one of the better teams in the National Football League. Now, maybe you guys think that this is too premature of a conversation to be having, and I'm willing to acknowledge that. All offseason, we talked about the big 3. We talked about Kansas City, Buffalo, and Baltimore. We talked about those 3 teams being the only true Super Bowl contending teams in the AFC. Now, I think Vegas is actually showing us something very interesting about Kansas City. Vegas does not believe in the Chiefs in the short term. They were a home underdog to the Eagles. They are a home underdog to the Baltimore Ravens. I think if you want to play this thing out a couple more weeks, I think there'll be a home underdog to the Detroit Lions, especially if the Lions beat the two teams in front of them. They got Cleveland and Cincinnati their next 2 weeks, so no reason to think that they're not coming into Arrowhead 4-1 when that game happens. I think, like Baltimore, like Philadelphia, the Lions will be a slight favorite against Kansas City. I think what Vegas is telling you is in the short term, they are not big Chiefs believers, but long term, you still have to maintain a level of respect for the Chiefs. You just can't be discounting long-term Chiefs futures right now in Vegas because a lot of people would hop on them. That's why I said in last week's show, if you are still very high on the Chiefs and their ability to win this division, still really high on this team and their ability to be the 1 seed, to make a deep run in the postseason, get back to another Super Bowl, you will never get prices as cheap as they are right now. They're discounted. I mean, they're not just giving the Chiefs away in the AFC. They're not 15-1, 20-1. But right now in the division, you're getting it at plus 250, plus 275 that they're going to win the AFC West. You never get that kind of odds for the Kansas City Chiefs because they're always the overwhelming favorite in their division. So I think in the short term, Vegas is telling you they're not very high on Kansas City, but long term, I think in a lot of ways that kind of mirrors how the public and how you guys feel about the Kansas City Chiefs and all of these things. Are we ready to add 2 more teams to this conversation? Are we ready to add the Chargers and the Steelers to this conversation? Now, I think it is important to add this delineation. I don't think the Steelers can win the Super Bowl, but if I'm taking a look at the landscape of the AFC, is there anybody else outside of these 5 teams that I think can be the team that represents the AFC in February in San Francisco? Like, are you ready to put the Broncos on this list? Because the Broncos might be the 3rd best team in their division. I don't think we're putting them in the Super Bowl contender conversation. You can't put Cincinnati in there right now with the injury. Certainly no other team in the AFC East is worthy of that distinction. I'm not a believer in the Colts, not in a Super Bowl sense. The Colts, we see a team like the Colts every single year. They're going to win 10, 11 games. They're going to lose in the first round of the postseason. And the next year, whenever we give our preseason predictions about who we think is going to miss the postseason, the Colts will be the first team that we all suggest of no chance they're making the postseason this year. I just already can kind of tell you how that Colts season is going to go. They go 10-7. They lose on the road to Baltimore in the first round of the postseason in a closer than people expect kind of game, and then we move on with the rest of our lives. I feel like that's it. I feel like we have seen 3 weeks of the NFL, and I can already pretty definitively tell you one of the Super Bowl teams in the AFC is one of those 5 teams: Kansas City, Baltimore, Buffalo, the Chargers, or the Steelers. Now, you can agree or disagree on how much of a pretender you think the Chargers or the Steelers are, but those are the only teams to me that, have the weapons, have the quarterback, have the head coach, have the talent. Those are the only teams that I think worthy of being placed in that conversation with the other 3 big teams in the AFC.
So here's the thing. I don't think 2 of those teams belong in that conversation. First and foremost, let's start with the Steelers. Now, this is just my personal opinion on the Steelers. There's not a lot of data to back this up, but they feel like they are doing what the Steelers do every year. It is their destiny in life to be 9-8, and it feels like they're on a path to 9-8. Now, maybe they'll go to, is the game in Dublin this week? Is it Ireland is the first leg of the Vikings trip? Maybe they'll go to Ireland and they'll beat the Vikings and they'll be 3-1, and they look like world beaters. I had to eat my words, but they just look like the regular old Steelers with a quarterback we know. So I don't have them in the Super Bowl category, no. And I don't think at 1-2 with one of the worst defenses in the NFL, you can have the Ravens in the Super Bowl category. Not right now. Maybe they tighten up. Maybe they come into Kansas City and get a big win. Maybe their defense starts looking like the defense that we thought their team could be. It could change. Data points will add new results. But I don't think in week 4 of the NFL season, you can convince me that the Ravens are a Super Bowl threat. Derrick Henry is fumbling every time he touches the football. Their defense is leaking like you wouldn't believe. And, I mean, their only wins against what we think is maybe one of the worst teams in the NFL at home. I don't know the Ravens can be in this conversation right now because of how bad their defense is and because I don't think Derrick Henry is the same Derrick Henry we've seen in the past.
Am I at least Is it fair for me to give this caveat right now? Because I see people agreeing with you. I actually feel like Baltimore isn't a contender due to their defense. I think that is a fair point. Can I see what that looks like against a team like Kansas City? And I only bring that up because it feels like over the last couple of days, we've talked about the Ravens defense like it's the Cowboys defense. The Cowboys defense is getting cooked up by Caleb Williams. The Cowboys defense is getting cooked up by Russell Wilson, who might never make another start in the National Football League. The Ravens defense got beat by Josh Allen and Jared Goff in the Lions offense. Now, if the Chiefs offense looks alive against Baltimore's defense right now, while the Chiefs can't really run the football super effectively and don't have their number 1 and number 2 wide receiver, I am happy to come back on here next week and we can have all the conversation in the world we need to have about Baltimore's defense. I just don't want to overreact because they were in a shootout with the Bills and the Lions. I'm not ready to say that Baltimore's defense is not good. It's not what I thought it was going to be. I'm not eliminating them because those two teams scored against you. Those two teams will score against just about any team in the National Football League.
Maybe I am playing both ends of the middle, or whatever that saying is. But I don't know what happens on Sunday really changes my thought all that much about the Ravens defense. Either A, the Chiefs go up and down the field against them, and they look like the Chiefs of old, in which I will tell you, yeah, the Ravens defense is bad. They're 31st against the rush, 32nd against the pass. Like, they are one of the worst defenses in the NFL statistically. So if on Monday the Chiefs are cooking them, you can join the conversation, but I'm going to do a lot of I told you so, that Ravens defense is bad. And let's say the Ravens defense looks like the Ravens defense we thought, the Ravens defense we grew up with, and they win a slugfest, or they're in a slugfest. They don't have to win. They're in a slugfest in Kansas City, defensive battle. I'll be telling you, you know why their defense look good? The Chiefs' offense kind of stinks. So right now, the two viable teams the Ravens have faced, the two offenses we think are Super Bowl quality, the Ravens have been horrible. The one offense they faced, their defense looked viable, was a team that's fighting for Garrett Nussmeier in 9 months. That's their destiny with the Cleveland Browns. So I don't know that this Sunday changed my opinion about the Ravens defense, because either it plays well, but the Chiefs offense isn't playing well, so grain of salt, or it plays poorly, which of course is going to play poorly. It's a bad defense. I feel like this Sunday doesn't change my opinion on the Ravens D at all.
Now, someone asked a very fair question. Carrington, have you changed your stance on Justin Herbert? Not fully, but let me tell you where I am right now with the Chargers. Let me tell you where I am right now with Justin Herbert. What if, and this is just a thought, what if the Chargers are this year's 2017 Atlanta Falcons? You remember that year, it was a really good year for Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan won MVP that year, and the Falcons went to the Super Bowl. Before then, Matt Ryan had no playoff success. Leading into that season in which they lost the Super Bowl, Matt Ryan was 1-4 in his postseason career. They had good regular seasons. He played pretty poorly. I mean, in his first 3 postseason losses, Matt Ryan threw for less than 200 yards in all of those games. He then eventually kind of turned things around a little bit. They got the right team, the right year, and the Falcons had one good run. It's obviously a lot of football left to be played, but I don't want to just solely look at it through the lens of, well, you've never done it before, so that means you can't do it. Well, nobody has done anything until you do it for the first time, right? So I'm at least open to the possibility of, hey, maybe the Chargers are pretty good this year. You got a good coach. You got a capable quarterback. I think their offense has just about all of the things that you need. Quentin Johnston is one of the most improved players this year in the National Football League. Let's see if they can get the run game going just a little bit. Their defense has been pretty good so far. If you think the AFC West is one of the better divisions in the National Football League, the Chargers have beaten all 3 of those teams. So we can't ask the question, who have you beaten? Well, you beat Kansas City, you beat Denver, you went on the road and you beat the Raiders. We at least got to give you respect for the games that you have won so far. I'm simply asking the question, what if, because we do not look at that Falcons team as some all-time kind of team. It was a team that just kind of popped up out of nowhere. It was a team that just had one really good season where Matt Ryan put everything together. They lost in the Super Bowl, and then we basically never heard from the Falcons again. What if the Chargers are the 2017, 2018? What if they're that version of the Atlanta Falcons?
It's a good comparison, and me and the texter just see this differently, and that's fine. I kind of tried my best, and sometimes I fall, to take each NFL season in a vacuum. You're right. Justin Herbert, with a different coach and a different offensive line, different offensive coordinator, different weaponry, 3 years ago went down to Jacksonville and had one of the worst playoff losses in NFL history. And they did lose in the playoffs last year, and Justin Herbert looked bad. But do I think because those things have happened in his past that this team that looks good in week 4 and has beaten all the division opponents, like you said, including the Kansas City Chiefs, is incapable because of their history? No. Do I think they're going to make the Super Bowl? No, but they are absolutely capable. Good coach, good quarterback, and their defense is playing really well early in the season. They're a team that is viable. Do I think they're going to make it? No, but your Falcons analogy is perfect. And I'm sure if we went through each Super Bowl year by year, we can find a lot of teams who are like, oh, they just kind of made it that one year. Like the Nick Foles Eagles fall into this category too. You would have said no chance. They did make it. Maybe that's who the Chargers are.
Yeah, and I mean, I just think there's so many examples of this in sports. Like, you don't do it until you do it. People felt this way about Jason Tatum. He eventually did it. People felt this way about Steve Young. Remember, there's that iconic video of them taking the monkey off his back. Like, your first time, it usually is met with a lot of disappointment. You kind of bumped your head enough, and then eventually your team just breaks through. That happened with the Denver Nuggets when Jokic finally got his. Like, there's just so many of these kind of examples. I'm not telling you that I think the Chargers are making the Super Bowl, but I think you would be foolish to – you can't not have spent all summer telling us how good you feel the AFC West is when a team goes 3-0 in that division. Now it's like, let's at least treat the Chargers like a team right now that they have been one of the more welcome surprises so far in the National Football League. Let's see how the story finishes for the Los Angeles Chargers. I will say one thing. If you look at their schedule, they got a chance to really get things going. Coming up on the other side, let's talk a little bit of Royals baseball. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
The wait is finally over. Football season is here, and FanDuel is getting you ready for kickoff with an offer that you don't want to miss. New customers, you can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, any bet. Bet $5, and if it wins, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use all across the app. Use it how you want. Build your favorite parlays, bet player props, ride the live lines, whatever your style is. Remember, FanDuel has you covered. Be sure to check out FanDuel.com/KFNZ. Use that promo code to download the FanDuel app today and get started. FanDuel is an official sportsbook partner of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issue is non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Can help us your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Smokehouse Barbecue has always been our choice when it comes to barbecue in Kansas City. We love everything about Smokehouse Barbecue. And now Smokehouse has street tacos, their newest menu item. 3 flour tortillas, chopped burnt ends, and smoked sausage, plus corn elote and Cajun sour cream and a side. And now, every Tuesday, kids eat for $1.99 with the purchase of an adult entree. So visit Smokehouse Barbecue in Gladstone, Zona Rosa, or Independence, and at smokehousebbq.com. It's Smokehouse Barbecue. Fall's the best time of year to clean up the outside of your home or business, and the best way to do that is with a fresh coat of paint from my friends at CertaPro Painters. You want your home or business to make a great impression, and that starts with the exterior. And when you choose CertaPro Painters, you're choosing the best in the business for your job. CertaPro Painters go the extra mile. If there's a way to save you money, they'll let you know. And they take care of every detail from start to cleanup. So do what we did and schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated.
Race weekend returns to Hollywood Casino at Kansas Speedway with over $60,000 in prize giveaways. Friday night, stay cool with the Pin Play app and pick up a 12-pack of Coca-Cola while supplies last. Saturday is the day of winners with a winner every 15 minutes. And on Sunday, win up to $2,500 in Penn bonus play with the Hollywood Casino 400 even or odd drawing. Find your fun at Hollywood Casino. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Sailor Jerry's Run presents FAC 31. Saturday, October 4th at Cable Dahmer Arena. Witness a full night of MMA action. Stream live worldwide. The main event is champ on champ when Jose Hernandez takes on Ray Hayes. Zach Scroggin will battle Alonzo Martinez in the co-main event. Tickets for FAC 31 are on sale now through Ticketmaster or the Cable Dahmer Arena box office. Sponsored by Gary Crossley Ford, Healthy Looks PetSpawn Wellness, Dream Machine Motorsports, Apple Roofing, and Tintmaster.
eBay has reinvented vehicle buying. From click to curb, everything's covered. Ever try to buy a car online and end up in a parking lot with a stranger and some blind trust? That era is over. Now with Secure Purchase, eBay isn't just where you find your car. It's where you buy it, start to finish. Title, financing, registration, delivery, it's all built in. This is the modern way to buy your next ride on eBay. eBay. Things people love. Secure Purchase is powered by Caramel Dealer Services, LLC, an eBay subsidiary.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This afternoon, expect rain showers with a high of 73.
Weather brought to you by Robert Half. Our recruiters' expertise and award-winning AI will find you the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
Hey Kansas City, it's Michael Waka. Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
We'll get back to football here coming up in just a bit. But before we do that, I want to talk just a hint, a smidgems of baseball. I can't remember, Rob, when this was, but you and I looked up the wild card numbers on what the Royals would have had to do to grab one of those wild card spots. Now, we don't need to revisit that conversation because the Royals are not going to the postseason this year. But I think we had the number somewhere around 87. I think it was like 30, 35 games to go. You and I looked at it and said that if the Royals were going to make the postseason, this was the record that you were going to have. Well, you know what? Our research ended up being pretty close, ended up being pretty accurate. The Royals, if they could have kept on that pace, if the Royals just could have maintained and been an 87, potentially 88 win team, man, they would have had a chance to win the division. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with it, and I certainly understand if you haven't, just because the Royals completely fell out of the conversation. But this was a division that felt like it was all but locked up. The Tigers had the division, and all they have done for the last 10 days is lose. They've lost 9 of their last 10. They've lost 7 in a row. On the flip side, the Guardians, they are currently the hottest team in baseball. So when you add the hottest team in baseball and the coldest team in baseball, well, then what do you get? You get a division right now that is completely wide open with 5 days to go in the Major League Baseball season. Cleveland and Detroit both have 85 wins. Man, if the Royals just could have continued and maintained that pace and been an 87-win team, they would have put themselves firmly in the conversation. If you look at the wild card standings right now, so the Tigers, they have the last wild card spots. You would have had to keep up with the Detroit Tigers. And Houston, they're 1 game back. They have 84 wins. Now, after that, all the other teams are eliminated. So the Royals are just simply playing out the string. But the Yankees, they have 89 wins. The Red Sox have 86. The Tigers have 85. And the Astros have 84. And then every other team in the American League is eliminated. Man, if they just could have stayed on track, if they just could have kept the pace, it really could have been a fun, entertaining September. The Royals season basically ended when I was on the Kiss Cam. That was like the last time that you could still have hopes and dreams for the Royals. And ever since then, it's just been all downhill.
I feel like when we do an autopsy on the Royals season, and we don't do it right now. We can't do it right now. Their season is over. They're eliminated from postseason contention as of last night. But when we really sit down and delve into, hey, why did the Royals fall short of expectations in 2025? We can point to the offense, and that's definitely a culprit. We can point to injuries. That's part of baseball, but it is part of the deal here. We can talk to a little bit of regression from players like Bobby Witt. We can point to those things, and we can talk about them, and we have an off season full of time to talk about them. Do you know what the real reason is the Royals are not in the postseason? June. They were awful in June. Like, really, really bad. And that 87-win pace, that pace that you're talking about, if they had just been not even good, but just 500, totally mediocre in the month of June, I think we are right now having a conversation of, oh, are they a team that can catch the Tigers? They're still in the wild card hunt. Can they get to that 88? Like, all the conversations we thought we'd be having and we did the math on, I think would be happening right now if June wasn't just an absolute anchor around this team's feet. Like, it absolutely was what ended this year's team. Now it's on J.J. Piccolo, John Sherman, and the staff to figure out, hey, let's put a roster together that doesn't have a June swoon, and swoon is an understatement. But when we look back at the Royals season, the biggest culprit for why on September 25th we said their season is over officially, it is the month of June. They were abysmal.
I want to play this audio for you guys. Andy Reid was asked earlier today if he feels like Xavier Worthy is going to play on Sunday's game against the Ravens. Here's what he said.
From Xavier, that the optimism level has grown for a return potentially this week.
Yeah.
How important is it just to see him in practice and being more than limited to get him out there on?
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll just evaluate him and take it day by day, but he feels good, so we'll see.
That was Andy Reid earlier today. He said that they are going to take it day by day with Xavier Worthy, and they're going to see. At this point, I don't know if I can give you a prediction on Xavier Worthy. I mean, I thought pretty clear that he was going to play last week. Nate Taylor was reporting that he was going to play, and then something changed, and then he didn't play. He obviously will be welcomed whenever he gets back. He certainly would be a positive in this game. I think the game script for this and a possible win for Kansas City is going to have to be almost identical to the one against Philadelphia. I'm not saying that I think the Ravens are the Eagles, but just I don't think the Chiefs right now, I don't think they're in a position to get into a shootout with some of the best offenses in the National Football League. I just don't think they have the manpower to go out there and do it. So their defense is going to have to play well like they did against Philadelphia. They're going to have to control the line of scrimmage. I thought for the most part they did a fantastic job of doing that against the Philadelphia Eagles, and they're going to have to muddy the game up a little bit. That's a game that you got to try to win 24-20. That's a game that you got to try to win 21-17. If this game is going to be played like the Ravens game against the Bills and the Lions, I just don't think the Chiefs have enough firepower to try to win that. Or you're going to need to get Xavier Worthy back where you've got another bullet. You've got something else that you can do to potentially kind of blow out a game and score in the 30s, 35 points, if that's what the game script requires.
Listen, I'm not a doctor. I didn't even stay at a Holiday Inn last night. I have no idea about the health of Xavier Worthy. But at what point do you start to maybe scratch your head or get concerned about the fact that he isn't back yet? Like, the first part of that cut, hey, do you think there's a chance that Worthy is back this week? Yeah, like no elaboration, no nothing from Andy. You're right. We had Nate Taylor on the show Friday. If I combed through our audio files, I promise Nate was saying he expects Xavier Worthy to play.
He said it. No, yeah. he reported it.
100%.
Yeah,
and then on Saturday, you're heading to Columbia, I'm heading to Lawrence. We check Twitter. Oh, he ain't playing at all. Like, nope, not at all. I don't know if he will or won't play this week. Is there a timeline for you, not for him, because we're not doctors. Is there a timeline where you start to go, what's up? Because they never IR'd him. And they made it seem like it's just day to day, week to week. Is there a timeline where you start to scratch your head and go, why isn't he back yet?
I mean, I think what he has is a pretty significant injury, so I understand them feeling a bit of hesitation when it comes to it. I mean, if this ends up being a 6 or 7 week injury, I think the question is going to turn out to why didn't you put him on the IR? You could have saved that roster spot. You could have done something different if you felt like he was going to come back and not require surgery. But the IR locks you in where you can't play for 4 weeks. So it basically would have almost lined you up with the Rashee Rice return and Xavier Worthy. To me, them not putting him on the IR, it gives you a little bit of, well, if he comes back in 3 weeks, you still save a week because you have the opportunity to put him on the roster. It was very, very lofty to think that he could play that first week. I am a little bit surprised that he couldn't play in the second week. I mean, I would think in theory, he's missed one practice this whole time. If you practice for 3 straight weeks and you're with the team and you're doing these things and they felt like they were real close to getting you ready last week, I don't know why you wouldn't play in this one, but you're right. Like, the target feels like it's been moved. I've been wrong enough on this, so I'm just going to throw my hands up and say, I don't know. I'm going to anticipate that he is not going to play until told otherwise that he is going to play. So how do you operate offensively? What do you need to do in the absence of Xavier Worthy? And then if you get him back, it's a whole different set of questions. How healthy are you? How many snaps are you going to play? How much wear and tear and punishment can you do? Can you do some of the creative jet sweep kind of things because you're worried about him getting tackled and brought to the ground? Like, I don't know with his injury if it's something that you're going to have to feel like, hey, he's back, he's perfectly fine. I think it's something that you're going to have to monitor for the rest of the season. This is probably an injury that needed surgery, but he's a football player. I want to be out there, so we'll try to figure out a way to do it. It doesn't sound like he can hurt himself anymore. It sounds like it's a range of motion. How can I protect myself? How can I keep it stable? How can I go out here and perform to the best of my abilities? So we'll see these next couple of weeks if they can get him back on the field before he would have been able to if they had just quite simply put him on IR from the very beginning when this injury occurred. Coming up in about 20 minutes, we're going to be joined by Patrick Mahomes, the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs. That's coming up. Keep it right here. It's The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for K-State Athletics, 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
I am the greatest fan in KU history.
I'm the greatest fan in K-State history.
I only wear crimson and blue.
I drive a purple car.
This will never be settled. That's why Kansas Lottery has the Rivalry Riches Scratch Ticket. You could win up to $50,000 instantly and great game day experiences through the Kansas Lottery Play-On app.
I have a Jayhawk tattooed on the arm of a Jayhawk that's tattooed on my arm.
All my children are named Willie.
See KSLottery.com for details.
Ring the bell. We've done it again. Golden Oak Lending has lowered rates to 4.875 fixed. Lower your monthly payment, get cash out, pay off credit cards, and best of all, make no mortgage payments for 2 months. Lock in this incredible 4.875 rate and get your cash in as little as 14 days. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
5.81 APR, FHA, 15-year, 20% equity qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
Whether you're looking for a Bronco, an Explorer, an F-150, or even a commercial vehicle, Robside Ford has the selection.
That's right, Kevin. We've got it all. And we've got the lowest prices in Kansas City. No gimmicks, just great deals on every new Ford.
And it's not just inventory, it's how you do business. Robside Ford makes it very simple.
We do it different on purpose. Non-commissioned sales team, upfront transparent pricing, top dollar trade-in values, and a process that's actually easy.
You've even got the reputation to back it up, Bobby. Kansas City's only top-rated Ford dealer on Google. 4.8 stars, 3,000 reviews. Wow.
And this year, we're proud to be voted Best Car Dealership in KC by Kansas City Magazine.
So if you're ready for a better car buying experience,
come see us at 135th and State Line or check us out at robsight.com.
From Broncos to F-150s to work trucks, Robside Ford has what you need.
If you want simple and easy, you're not going to find a better spot.
Robside Ford. Buy right. Drive happy.
Get your home ready for the change in seasons with a $69 HVAC tune-up from Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter. Our pros can help you lower energy costs, prevent costly breakdowns, and make sure your system is running at peak efficiency right when you need it most. And it's all backed by our exceptional service guarantee. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews are great reasons to trust Hamilton. Visit callhamilton.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
Hey, football fans, tune in this week to kick off with Boomer and Valenti, where the guys break down the biggest headlines and stories from across the NFL. Kickoff with Boomer and Valenti is brought to you by Nationwide. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side.
Sports fans, listen up. 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer, and bladder leaks can be a side effect. That's why Depend is teaming up with the Prostate Cancer Foundation to encourage screening. Because health is a long game, and it's yours to win. Now here's the cool part. Through November, Depend is contributing up to $300,000 to prostate cancer research by donating 25 cents for every purchase of Depend shields, guards, and Real Fit products. Void in Mississippi. Learn more at Depend.com.
Dude, did you order the new iPhone 17 Pro? Got it from Verizon, the best 5G network in America. I've never looked so good.
You look the same.
But with this camera, everything looks better, especially me.
You haven't changed your hair in 15 years. Selfies? Check, please.
New and existing customers can get the new iPhone 17 Pro, designed to be the most powerful iPhone ever. With eligible phone trade-in and unlimited ultimate. Any condition guaranteed. Best 5G source root metrics data, United States, 1H 2025. All rights reserved. Trade-in and additional terms apply for all offers. See Verizon.com for details.
The technicians you can trust with your house keys. Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
Getting the job done right the first time protects your home, time, and budget. This summer, get $500 off a water softener and filtration combo. Schedule at AnthonyPHCE.com.
Listen to the Chiefs and Ravens on Sunday with pregame starting at noon. Kickoff at 3:25 with Mitch, Danon, and Kling. Right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2. Kansas City in Odyssey Sports Station.
Welcome back into the show. My name is Carrington Harrison. Very happy to be here with you guys on this wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. Coming up in about 10 minutes, we will play our conversation with the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. Before then, let's talk a little bit about Ravens running back Derrick Henry. You guys know that so far this season, Derrick Henry has had a fumble in each of their first 3 games. Now, if you look at the numbers, Derrick Henry's still been Derrick Henry. He has 41 carries for 242 yards. He has 3 touchdowns so far this season. He is averaging 5.9 yards a carry. But the plays that he has had so far this season, those 3 big fumbles that he has had, 2 of them have directly resulted in a loss. I also think it's important to note a large majority of those yards happened in one game. The last 2 games, Derrick Henry had 11 carries for 23 yards. In Sunday night's game, or Monday night, he had 12 carries for 50 yards and scored a touchdown in that one. So, yeah, he had the monster day in week 1 against the Bills. Hasn't really been that way since. This is my question, and maybe this is a very premature question to ask of Derrick Henry. But I think we all know at some point it ends for Derrick Henry. And it is going to end very differently than it's going to end for other players just because of the position that he plays. We are talking about a running back that has put a bunch of carries on his body over the last 7 years or so. I mean, in 4 of the last 6 years, Derrick Henry has led the NFL in carries. Last season, he had 325 carries for almost 2,000 yards and had 16 touchdowns and averaged 6 yards a carry. Like, Derrick Henry had one of the best seasons that we had ever seen for a running back who is 30 or older. What if he's not that anymore? I mean, he's still dynamic. He's still a guy that runs for 1,200 yards this season, but taking 700 yards out of the Ravens offense and him not being the dynamic playmaker that he was last year is a substantial change in their offense. is there any chance with now the fumbles and not playing well these last 2 weeks, is there any chance that Derrick Henry just isn't the superhero anymore? He's just a really good back in the NFL, because if Baltimore is going to win the Super Bowl and get over the hump, they need Derrick Henry to be a superhero. And so far in their 2 losses, he has been anything but.
I have been calling for the fall off of Derrick Henry for, I don't know, when did I get hired over here? 2020? So ever since I got hired, I've been calling for Derrick Henry fall off is coming. Every year I've been wrong. Every single one of them. But I do understand why we are now having this conversation in 2025, because while his fall off, and I'm air quoting fall off, would be going from maybe the best running back in the NFL to just good, and maybe next year he falls to a little below good, and then it's over. It is worth noting that Ravens offense is built around he and Lamar's ability to be successful running the football. One of the reasons why the Ravens were a Super Bowl threat last season, although they fell short, is because of his 1,900 yards rushing. And one of the reasons why Lamar had an MVP type of season is because they build their offense around he and Derrick Henry being sensational in the backfield. It's possible, and I, more than anyone else, am open to the idea, because I've always been open to the idea, that his fall-off could be why the Ravens are 1-2. It could be why they are not looking like the Super Bowl team a lot of people thought they were preseason. So I'm open to the conversation that Derrick Henry is starting to fall off, because fair is fair. We complain on this show about Travis Kelce with the frustrations with his offense and having little temper tantrums on the sideline. Derrick Henry had one after his fumble last week against the Lions.
I don't really mind that one. To me, that's just a little bit different. It didn't really seem to be directed at a teammate or a coach. I mean, if we're now mad at guys for themselves walking over to the sideline and slamming their own helmet because they're mad they're fumbled, now that's something that I do think happens all the time. I don't think there's a lot of instances of head coach chest-bumping player. I do think there's a lot of instances is players throwing something on the ground because they're frustrated with themselves. So I don't think that the Derrick Henry outburst and the Travis Kelce outburst, I don't think they're comparable for that reason.
I think they're comparable for this reason. I think it is 2 players who are older veterans in the league, and they are frustrated with either themselves or their team or both, that they are not playing the same way they're used to playing. How many fumbles did Derrick Henry had in his career before this season? I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it didn't feel like he had a problem holding on to the football. This year, he has a massive problem holding on to the football. He's been really kind of butterfingers a little bit with the ball. So I think Derrick Henry and Travis Kelce's outbursts are comparable for this reason. It is 2 veteran guys who are frustrated, and I think they're frustrated because they aren't playing up to the level they're used to, and it's possible that level is gone, because that's what happens to veteran players. You get older and you get worse. That's the nature of sports. That's why I compare the Derrick Henry and Travis Kelce outbursts. The outbursts themselves aren't the same, but I think it's the same culprit. They are frustrated that they are not playing up to their own par.
It is kind of crazy. It's like I'm reading this text right here, and the text was, don't the Chiefs have a good history of bottling up Derrick Henry? In the regular season games, I just did a quick math while Rob was talking. Derrick Henry against the Chiefs in regular season games averages 18 carries for 98 yards against the Chiefs. And it's funny because it actually feels like they do a decent job against Derrick Henry. He's never killed the Chiefs. At least it doesn't feel like it. I got to look back to that postseason game and see what the numbers were in that one. But the Chiefs did a really good job in the AFC Championship game against Derrick Henry. It never feels like he's had that big back-breaking run against the Kansas City Chiefs. It never feels like he's kind of had that one game where he has the 17 carries for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. Maybe I'm misremembering it when we're talking about the Chiefs and their history against Derrick Henry. They've never completely shut him down, but they've never allowed him to beat them either.
I was at that Titans-Chiefs
I'll pull it up here real quick.
I was trying to pull up his postseason stats while you were talking.
I got it right here.
Okay,
in that
perfect.
game, the Chiefs held him to 19 carries for 69 yards.
That's a good job bottling him up.
Now, they also went up against him in 2018. If I'm remembering correctly, that's the Marcus Mariota game. Maybe I got my years off on when that was.
That is Marcus Mariota, yep.
In that game, Derrick Henry had 23 carries for 156 yards and 1 touchdown. Now, that was 2018, Bob Sutton, different defense. I'm certainly not saying that's what we're expecting to see on Sunday against this team. I don't think that they have done great against Derrick Henry, but they also haven't been bad against Derrick Henry either. Again, outside of one or two times, they haven't really allowed him to be a tremendous difference maker in this. If you're telling me right now that you could pencil in Derrick Henry for, let's say you give him 17 carries for 91 yards, I think you absolutely take that on Sunday. The Chiefs, that's a game you can win if you hold Derrick Henry to 91 yards in the game. I think you're very happy with that outcome.
I think the Chiefs win the game if you hold him to 91 yards. I also think, to your point, it's funny. I would have said the same thing the text line said. Oh, the Chiefs always ball up Derrick Henry. And even saying, lock in the number right now, he gets 91 yards, a part of me thinks the Chiefs can hold him to under 91 yards. I thought the Chiefs consistently can do that. But the numbers you laid out, he is far better against the Chiefs than I remembered. He's just not – he doesn't have one of those plays that makes you go, oh, goodness. Like when he ended Earl Thomas's NFL career. He doesn't have that sort of moment against the Chiefs, but it's not like he's been nothing. But I would bet the under on 91 yards for Henry on Sunday. Despite everything, I would take the under.
Yeah, I think you have to kind of look at it, and historically, if I'm going back just a little bit, anytime heading into a week that people like you and I have kind of talked about the running back on the other team, the Chiefs, for the most part, have done a pretty good job against him. If you go back to the Super Bowl a few years back when they went up against Christian McCaffrey, I thought Christian McCaffrey was the best non-quarterback in the league that year. Chiefs did a really good job against him in that matchup. They've gone against Saquon Barkley these last couple of times. In week 2, also in the Super Bowl, Saquon Barkley didn't have a tremendous game against Kansas City. So I don't know if there's any reason to think that Derrick Henry, like if you're asking me from a rushing perspective, who am I more worried about heading into Sunday's game? The answer is Lamar Jackson over Derrick Henry, and I don't necessarily think that it's close. I think they have the infrastructure in place to keep Derrick Henry somewhat in check. I don't really think they have the infrastructure to keep Lamar Jackson in check. If Lamar Jackson on a 3rd and 5 decides that he wants to get out and scramble and run, I think he'll be able to do so, where a lot of the expectation is going to be, and this is where I thought the Lions did a really good job against him, is can you win up front with your front four? Can you create pressure? Can you force it where Lamar holds on to the ball too long, and then you can get some of those coverage sacks? He got sacked 7 times on Monday night. That's not all your offensive line wasn't good enough. That's a lot on you holding the ball for too long, trying to make a play, and you not getting it out your hands quick enough. Can their defensive line win the matchups like they won in week 3 against the Giants?
And if they can, I think the Chiefs have a really good chance to win. I looked at the numbers just to have them in front of me. Last year, the season opener was Chiefs and Ravens. The Ravens had just signed Derrick Henry. It was, oh man, they have Derrick Henry. What are they going to do? All this, that, and the other. Derrick Henry had 13 carries for 46 yards. And the Chiefs won the game, obviously. It came down to what was Mitch Holthus call the Chiefs win by a toenail. But if the Chiefs hold Derrick Henry on Sunday to what they did in week 1 last season, under 50 yards, I think the Chiefs win comfortably because Derrick Henry is the engine that makes that offense go. I think Lamar Jackson is incredible, but if you can key in on Lamar Jackson, you can make that team a little one-dimensional. So I think the Chiefs have a really good chance of shutting down Derrick Henry. I do worry about Lamar Jackson a little bit because I think if we pulled his rushing numbers, and we can do this later in the week, I think he's actually rushed pretty well against the Chiefs, which is problematic. I think he had 100 yards last year against the Chiefs.
I just don't think you can take both of them away from an offense. I think it's just really, really difficult to where you're going to have to kind of sell out to stop one of those things. You can sell out to stop Derrick Henry. I just don't know if you have, or a lot of teams have the ability to take both of those guys out of the run game. Their run game is just designed in where you can't take both of them out of it. So maybe you hold Derrick Henry to 56 yards rushing in there, then that opens up some lanes for Lamar. He's keeping it on the RPOs. And there's a reason why he's the most dangerous rushing threat we have ever seen as a quarterback in the National Football League. Speaking of the quarterback position, hit it, Rob.
He's QB1.
And at quarterback from Texas Tech, number 15, Patrick Mahomes.
He's a 3-time Super Bowl champion.
Mahomes moving to his left laterally, chased, holding it, and gets out of bounds and up the sideline. He's not out of bounds yet. He's at the 10, inside the 10, he dives for the end zone. Touchdown, Kansas City. A remarkable acrobatic scramble on a 27-yard run. Maybe the best play yet.
2-time MVP and 3-time Super Bowl MVP.
Patrick Mahomes with Mahomes magic. Starting left, peeling right. 3 drives, 3 touchdowns for the Chiefs.
And you can hear him right here every week with CDOT, exclusively on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan. Here's Patrick Mahomes.
Every week, the appearances for the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, they are brought to you by Telly Tire and Auto Centers. Winning starts with a great drive. Since 1942, Telly's Tires. They have certified techs that have delivered complete car care with top brand tires and expert auto service. Keep your drive going. Take it to the Telly. Visit tellytire.com today. Our conversation with the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs started with, how good does it feel to be back in the win column?
Yeah, no, it feels good. I mean, obviously, we don't like losing, and losing 2 straight to start the season is something that we hadn't done before. So getting that win was the utmost importance, and we were able to get that done, and now we move on to Baltimore.
We'll get back to football here in just a little bit, but the weather in Kansas City is changing. One thing that I love that you do is I feel like every year you take us on a family fall outing with you guys. Have you guys already planned this? What do you have planned for the fall?
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be something along those lines. You know, it's kind of easy because I obviously have to take my family, and the places that we go to are so gracious and letting me kind of get some room to have the park. And so I like to invite the other guys on the team so they can have, on one of our day offs, time with their family, and that's important because when you're happy at home, man, it gives you better energy when you're in the building.
What's your favorite fall activity? You seem like, somebody who enjoys a corn maze or two.
Yeah, I mean, I have since I've been here. I wasn't big on the whole, like, pumpkin patches and the corn mazes growing up, but being here in Kansas City, you can see how well it's done here, and so I'm excited to get back out there and get to something. If that's a corn maze, pumpkin patch, something like that, and then my kids are already super excited about Halloween, and they're getting their costumes and stuff ready. So I'm sure that'll be a big day in the Mahomes household.
Okay, you and I have been doing these interviews for like 4 or 5 years, and I'm not sure if I've ever asked you this question. Pumpkin spice latte, is that a thumbs up or a thumbs down for you?
It's not for me. It's not even that I don't like the taste or anything like that. I'm just when I drink kind of my coffees in general, I just drink them black. So it's like a little bit too much for me. But I guess I could have it in little bit of pieces here and there. It's not like I want the full latte.
Right now, we're talking to the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. Let's talk about Tyquan Thornton. I thought it was a very big part in the game that you went deep to him on a ball. He narrowly misses it. It would have been a great catch, and then you go right back to him. Tell us a little bit more about you guys' relationship and the trust that you've built up with him early on in his career in Kansas City.
Yeah, I think he's done a great job of just continue to get better and better. You know, he asks the right questions. He always is trying to be on the same page with me, and I feel like it's just a start, because we've missed on a couple of these deep shots too as well, and a lot of it's my fault, and then some of it's just miscommunication between me and him. But he's someone that works extremely hard, puts in the work, and he's a good dude in the locker room as well. And so I think he's going to continue to get better and better. And as we add guys back, it's going to give him more opportunities to make these big plays.
Where does that rank in terms of catches that you've seen in your time in Kansas City there? Because I'm sitting there thinking it. When you and I were growing up and watching SportsCenter Top 10, that's one of the ones that would have been high up on the list.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, first off, the angle I had to throw it from, it wasn't from the normal release spot, and I'm rolling to the right, throwing it back across the field. He has to find the football with a guy kind of in the way, and then to use your hands, make a strong catch, and hold it down when the guy had really good coverage. I mean, it was a tough catch. I told him that it was harder. The first catch was easier than the second catch, but he made the hard one. So either way, we got it down there to the 1 yard line, and we're able to punch it in for the touchdown.
Now that you are, one of the older guys on the team, not calling you an old guy, but you're one of the older guys on the team, how rewarding is it to see a young guy like Tyquan kind of come in and just grow as his role has grown in the offense in these first 3 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, it's super important, honestly, and obviously it's great to see for him and for this offense, but just someone that puts in the work, and it shows that if you put in the work and you continue to work, you can have a role in this offense. You can make big plays in big moments, and obviously it's going to be important for us as the season goes on, and it's been super important at the beginning of the season. So I think his role will continue to grow, and we'll be able to add some other guys back here and there, hopefully over these next few weeks, and really get this offense off the ground.
Let's keep it with the wide receivers. We just saw the report that everybody is scheduled to practice for you guys today. You've seen Xavier Worthy over these last couple of weeks. He's been able to practice, but hasn't been able to play. How do you think he's looked in practice? How close do you think he is to being able to get back on the field?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's really close. I mean, it's more about just us being a little bit more safe about it than we necessarily. I guess the word would be more safe about it and more cautious of it, just knowing it's early in the season. Obviously, every game's important, but he's a player that's going to do a lot of great things in Kansas City. So I feel like he wants to be out there. He's practicing. He's getting the reps in. But they're going to make the best decision for our team at the end of the day for now and for the long term. And I trust that our medical staff and the coaches know when the right time to put him out there is. But I know he's itching to get back on that football field.
Speaking of someone itching to get back on the football field is Rashee Rice. I just saw that he is able to be back in the facility. How good is it to have him around?
Yeah, man. I mean, it really boosts the morale, man. I think just having that guy, he's always got a smile on his face, and he's one of the leaders of that receiving room. We have a lot of young guys there, and he's kind of been the guy that's been in the Super Bowl. He's won the Super Bowl, and he's made a lot of big plays. And just to have him in that room to kind of complete the room, I think the guys are super excited about it. Obviously, he can't practice with us, but he can be in some of those meetings and stuff like that. And it's always good to have the guys back in the building, the guys that you put the work in with.
I was just going to ask you, how do you guys get him ready even though you can't practice? Is it just extra film time? Is it just kind of rebuilding that camaraderie? How do you guys get him ready to come back in 3 weeks?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, first off, you build just the camaraderie and just being back in the building and him getting to hear the plays. Because even though it's 6 weeks, I mean, the offense changes and the plays change, and we work off stuff that's worked and versus what defenses are giving to us. And so for him to be in the building to hear that stuff and how we're talking about plays, it's going to help streamline that the progression of him getting back whenever he can be back. And so he can work out by himself and he can kind of stay in shape and do stuff like that. But being in the building, listening to us, how we talk, and then kind of keeping those relationships going so that when he gets here, we can kind of hit the ground running. It'll be important.
Right now, we're talking to the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, here for a few more minutes. Patrick, certainly tell me if you think I'm wrong when it comes to this. It feels like you and Kelsey's connection has just been a hair off. You guys have had so many big plays, so many moments. It feels like it's just a shade off at times on some of these plays. Are you getting the same feeling?
Not necessarily. I mean, I think the biggest one was when I just dirted the ball. I mean, he was open early, and I got greedy and was trying to throw the ball down the field, and instead of just getting the football to him earlier, and then when I threw the ball, kind of just yanked it to the left and yanked it down to the ground. So I think he's done a great job this year, getting open and making stuff happen. And so for me, it's just about getting the football to him, giving him more opportunities. And as I watch film, he's getting more open than even the opportunities I'm giving him. So just trusting in him that he's going to make the plays happen. And I'm sure as the season goes on, he'll continue to make big plays.
Obviously, things happen on the sideline. It's fiery. Everybody wants to win. There was a moment between Travis and Coach Reid. How did you guys as a team respond to that moment?
You know, what's crazy is I didn't even know about it until after the game. So I think more than anything, man, it's just two people that love football and love the Kansas City Chiefs and love each other. And so we're passionate. We love the game. We want to be at our best every single time we step on the field. And I think more than anything, man, it just made us play even better. So, I mean, when you know the guys love each other and that they're showing passion, you know it's for the right reasons. And so we'll go out there and continue to get better and better.
I've heard you mention this before. You know, you don't really always see it when it comes to Andy. But, you know, there's definitely times where he's a little bit fiery. You see it in the video. Like, you rarely see him get animated like that. But when he does, he was kind of equally giving it back.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's a football player at the end of the day. I mean, I know he's a coach now, and he's been a coach for a long time. But, I mean, he was offensive lineman. He was a good football player, and he has that mentality. And that's what you want is you want a coach that cares, and Coach Reid cares. And I think everybody in this building knows that. And so he's going to push us to be the best that we can be. And he does a good job of being the calm force when we need it to be. But when we need that fire, he can bring it too.
I feel like in rap they talk about, you know, those top three artists with Drake, Cole, and Kendrick. I feel like you have that right now in the NFL with yourself, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson. You guys are just linked together. You guys always seem to play each other when it comes to the postseason. What is it like to be a part of that group and have such competitive matchups between you three?
I mean, it's fun. I mean, you're going to get the best of the best every single time you step on the football field against one of those guys, and their teams as well. And so I think more than anything, it makes you raise your game to another level. I mean, you have to in order to find a way to compete and to find a way to win. And so when you play against the best, man, you bring out the best in yourself. And so it's competition, but it's a bunch of respect there as well. And so I'm just excited to step on that football field and play against one of the best teams in the league.
We asked you last week about a must-win game, and you said you don't really look at regular season games that way. It certainly makes sense. This feels like a really important swing game with both teams being 1-2 right now. One of these teams is going to be 2-2 heading into October, and the other team's going to have to do a little bit of work. This feels like a really important momentum swing game for both you and Baltimore.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, anytime you're below 500, you want to find a way to get that momentum back into your favor. And obviously, we are and they are, but at the same time, we both know how good both football teams are. And so both of us are trying to get our season back on track, and we're both going to come out with that fire and that attention to detail to go out there and play our best football. And it's going to be a great football game.
Right now, if you look at the odds, you guys are considered to be a underdog in this game. You guys are at home again. This is the second consecutive game that's the case. Do you guys take that as disrespect? Do you guys care at all about how people project you guys right now?
I mean, I didn't know that, but I mean, more than anything, I think we never feel like underdogs. I mean, I've said it several times. We feel like we can beat anybody that we step on the field and play, and so we give them the respect, and we know how good this football team is, and we play a lot of games against them and know that. But at the end of the day, we're going to go in with the mentality if we think if we play our best football, we can win.
Patrick, man, really appreciate your time. Happy to catch up with you next week.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Absolutely. That is the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. He joins us every Wednesday at 3:15. The appearances by Patrick Mahomes are brought to you by Telly Tire and Auto Centers. Winning starts with a great drive. Since 1942, Telly certified techs have delivered complete car care with top brand tires and expert auto service. Keep your drive going. Take it to Telly. Visit tellytire.com today. Coming up in about 40 minutes, Jeff Schwartz is going to join us on the show to talk about the Chiefs offensive line and what's going on with the run game. Coming up on the other side, we'll get back to the top story. Andy Reid commented on Jawaan Taylor. We'll discuss it. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison. Watch the show on YouTube by subscribing to the 965 YouTube channel. The Drive, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5, The Fan.
Need to sell your house in Kansas City but not sure what the best option is? Selling a home, especially when dealing with foreclosure, divorce, job relocation, or an inherited property, can feel overwhelming. That's why I don't just make offers. I help homeowners understand all their options so they can make the right choice with no pressure and no obligation. I'm Rex, a local homebuyer and resident right here in Kansas City. Whether you're looking for a fast cash sale or just want to explore your choices, I'll walk you through the pros and cons of selling to me or listing with an agent. If selling directly is your best move, I'll offer you a fair cash price and a closing timeline that fits your needs in as little as 7 days or on your schedule. No repairs, no commissions, no hidden fees. Just a transparent, hassle-free process so you know exactly what to expect. Let's talk. Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com for a free, no-pressure consultation. Rex Buys KC, helping homeowners make informed decisions with confidence.
Around here, we've got each other's backs. When it comes to health insurance, we want that same kind of support. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City gets that. They're from around here, too. Backed by the national strength of the Cross and Shield, they help you make confident choices, no matter where you are. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are. That's the benefit of blue.
This October, the whole family can ride along for the wildest weekend in Kansas City. PBR Outlaw Days, October 3rd through the 5th at T-Mobile Center. Cheer on your Kansas City Outlaws as they battle the world's best on the dirt, under the lights. KansasCityOutlaws.com. Get your tickets now at PBR.com. Kansas City Outlaws, all grit and no quit.
That leaf pile is 100 feet tall. Your dad can't handle this. Not without the right equipment.
Yard work piling up? Gear up for fall with John Deere. Get $750 off select mowers, $2,000 off select Gator UVs, and $3,000 off select compact tractors.
Did I hear your dad got a John Deere? Yep, bad day to be a leaf pile.
Gear up for fall at an authorized John Deere dealer, now through September 30th. Learn more at johndeere.com/gearupforfall.
You're on the list for Macy's Fall VIP Sale. That means you're invited to save big on this season's top designer looks at prices you'll love. Like an extra 30% off Calvin Klein, Steve Madden, Hugo Boss, and more. Plus, get 15% off beauty and fragrance from Estee Lauder, Lancome, and so many others. This only happens a few times a year. Don't miss the Fall VIP Sale tomorrow, only at Macy's. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
The pumpkin spice latte is back at Starbucks. Crafted with our signature espresso and real pumpkin sauce. Then topped with whipped cream, cinnamon, and nutmeg. The PSL. Get it while it's hot or iced. Only at Starbucks.
We asked parents to share their journey of adopting teens.
They changed who I am because I can't see life without them in it.
Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, want to hear something great? Right now at Wendy's, you can get 2 of the #1 selling bacon cheeseburger in all fast food, the JBC, plus medium fries and a medium soft drink for just $8. Want to hear something else great? Double the burger means double the bacon. Now that's a game changer. 2 of the #1 bacon cheeseburgers with fries and a drink for just $8. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Request $8 JBC meal deal to obtain discount. Individual items at regular price.
Around here, we've got each other's backs. When it comes to health insurance, we want that same kind of support. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City gets that. They're from around here too. Backed by the national strength of the Cross and Shield, they help you make confident choices, no matter where you are. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are. That's the benefit of blue.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Metal by the Foot, your metal project superstore.
For over 36 years, Metal by the Foot has been your source for steel, aluminum, brass, and stainless. Located in Casey and Topeka. Online at metalbythefoot.com. When you need a piece of metal, remember, metal doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg, just the foot.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Conley Plumbing Solutions, your neighborhood plumber. Call 913-768-7676 or ConleyPlumbingSolutions.com. Wreck in Blue Springs, 70 westbound, the on-ramp from Woods Chapel. Slow through there from the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center on Val 96.5, The Fan.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Hey, it's George Karlaftis from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome to The Drive with CDOT on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome back into The Drive. My name is Carrington Harrison. Very happy to be here. We led the show with this earlier today. Andy Reid commented about Jawaan Taylor. Matt Nagy said 2 weeks ago, almost 2 weeks ago now at this time, that hey, Jawaan Taylor had to clean up the penalties. They weren't going to accept it anymore. He's committed 3 penalties since Matt Nagy said that. One of the first questions in the press conference today is, hey, where are you guys at with Jawaan Taylor? What is the plan? Here's what Andy Reid said.
You know, when he doesn't have the penalties, his percentage has been good. So, you know, you could argue one of the better tackles in his pass protection game. You know, so I'm conscious of that, and then I'll take care of it from there.
This is what kind of trips me out about the Chiefs, where sometimes I feel like I'm crazy or don't know what I'm talking about. The way that the Chiefs talk about their offensive line and what I actually see on Sunday very rarely lines up with one another. Like, if you are going to go off how they talk about their offensive line, they think they have one of the steals in the NFL draft over at left tackle. The numbers would suggest that they have one of the steals at left tackle. This is not an anti-Josh Simmons take. He has had a great start to his career. There's no reason to spend a lot of time on it. The Chiefs feel like they have the best center in the National Football League. They clearly feel like they have the best right guard in the National Football League based off the contract that they gave him less than 6 weeks ago. They gave him a boatload of money. They clearly like Jawaan Taylor. If you look at the way that his contract was structured, if you are just listening to what Andy says, hey, once you get past the penalties, he's still a plus pass blocker. Well, why does their offensive line look the way that it looks? Why does it look like Pat doesn't have the necessary time in the backfield to step into throws? Why does it appear like Pat doesn't trust the offensive line and is maybe seeing ghosts and moving around and moves the pocket so much? Why can't you run the football successfully? Like, the way that they talk about their offensive line, and then when we watch the games, like, for the way that they talk about the offensive line, you would think that you get the same production that the Lions get, or the same production that you think Philadelphia gets, or Buffalo, or one of those kind of teams. Like, they talk about themselves like they have an elite, high-level offensive line. And then I watch the games, and that's just not what I see. Am I tripping? Am I the only one that feels this way? Because do you feel like the Chiefs are just completely set on the right side of that offensive line? Forget the names, forget the accolades, how much they've spent. That right side. So if there's a 3rd and 2 in Sunday's game, and the Chiefs make the decision to run to the right side, are they converting that? Do you think they convert in that scenario? How many yards do you think they get on that play? Because I remember in week 2 against the Philadelphia Eagles, it was a 4th and 1 play, and they ran the ball to the right side of the offensive line, and their running back got hit in the backfield. Again, maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm being overly critical. Maybe I'm too harsh on the offensive line. But I don't know how they can watch their offensive line right now and speak about it so confidently based on the results that we've seen so far in the first 3 games.
I don't understand what they see. Now, I will fully admit, offensive line play, not my strength to break down. I would say the average fan, not their strength to break down. There are people who are better at it. Jeff Schwartz is coming on the show in 30 minutes, 35 minutes from now. He can confidently speak about offensive line play far more accurately than I can. But I agree with you when I watch the games. It doesn't feel like the Chiefs have the new and improved version of that 03 offensive line. I mean, I was 12, but I remember watching the 03 offensive line. Trent Green had eons to make plays back there. Brian Waters was player of the week in the AFC. Priest Holmes and Larry Johnson were rushing like crazy. It was the best offensive line anyone's ever seen. The way the Chiefs talk about this offensive line, you would think it's in the same category as that one, and it's not. It's not bad. I do not want to say the Chiefs' offensive line is bad, but it's just run-of-the-mill average by every metric. And that's frustrating considering the amount of money they spend on that side of the ball to be just run-of-the-mill average at the position.
Yeah, and this text is a fair question. Hey, guys, what if Jalen Moore is really underperforming and they think that Pat is safer with Jawaan? Then it is one of the biggest misses in Brett Veach's career, if that's the case. It's one of the biggest misses. The Chiefs were about as conservative as you could possibly be when it comes to their offense. They brought back everybody from last year. They signed Elijah Mitchell, and they got Jalen Moore. That's all they did. They didn't overhaul anything. They didn't go and try to really infuse some new blood into things. They played it really safe to the vest, really conservative, and that's fine. You were expecting to get certain guys healthy. You weren't expecting to lose your wide receiver on the first offensive drive of the season. I understand how things have changed. But if you were telling me that they gave a player $21 million in the offseason and they don't think that he's good enough to get out on the field, and that's all you did in free agency, you didn't do anything else of note, then that is a tremendous miss in the middle of your quarterback's prime. The number one thing that Brett Veach is responsible for is giving yourself the best possible chance every single year while you have been given a gift of one of the 3 greatest quarterbacks that we've ever seen. For you to basically pass in free agency when it comes to their offense, and then the one time you cobbled some coin together, you don't think that guy can play. I don't know how I can take that anything other than a tremendous swing and miss with the offense. So I can't tell you if they feel that way or they don't feel that way. Let's see how the season continues to progress. But if they think Jawaan Taylor is better than Jalen Moore, then they basically didn't have an offseason in free agency. And then we got to open our question up to 2026 when Either you are going to renegotiate a contract with Jawaan Taylor and give him more guaranteed money, more job security, or you're going to have to hand the keys over to Jalen Moore at some point anyway because you have him under contract.
I don't know we need to have the conversation today, but if we're talking about swings and misses, we don't have to talk about the hypothetical because there are a couple swings and misses on that offensive line based on the contract that was doled out. Is Creed Humphrey the best center in football right now? I would tell you he's not. He's paid like he is. He's not. Is Trey Smith the best right guard in football right now? He's paid like he is. I don't think he's playing that way. So we don't have to talk about hypothetical swings and misses with Jalen Moore's first day of free agency contract, and now he's watching Jawaan Taylor false start and hold each week. We can talk about the contracts that Brett Veach did dole out with the guys that are on the field, and they are paying a premium for interior offensive line, and I would tell you they are not getting a premium return, which the saying you always say is you got to pay for what you're going to get, not what you've gotten before. Right now, the Chiefs are paying for past performance with Creed and Trey because they are not living up to their contracts.
And I think this is also a fair point. I want to acknowledge fair points. C-Dot, I think that the Chiefs are saving Jalen Moore for if their rookie left tackle gets hurt. It's a very fair plan. The plan doesn't include if your current right tackle underperforms, if that's what you think his job is going to be next year. Like if I poll you guys right now and I tell you that Jalen Moore is on the 2026 Chiefs, maybe you think he's not on the Chiefs. Maybe he just got $21 million to hang out with the team for a year. Be a great gig. I wish more people could sign up for that plan. What position do you think he plays next year? Because it's not left tackle. They already got their left tackle. You think he plays right tackle. Right now, Jawaan Taylor's grade on Pro Football Focus, if you're somebody that buys into Pro Football Focus, it's 45. Pro Football Focus is telling you that they have a below average right tackle right now. Now, they're telling you maybe it's in run blocking, but he's so great in pass blocking. And again, I don't know how you can say, well, other than the penalties matter. She could be a good girlfriend, but if every Friday she's dating somebody else, it limits how great your relationship can be. She might be phenomenal those other 6 days. That 7th day, she's spending more time with Tim than she's spending with you. That matters in your relationship. So for him to say that, I mean, outside of the penalties matter. It was a 3rd and 12. He got an illegal procedure. It erased a 17-yard play. You then didn't score on the drive. That's significant. So I just don't know how we can gloss past that. I wouldn't feel as strongly about this if we were debating it between Wanya Morris. If we were talking about Wanya Morris stepping in at right tackle, I would understand why they have the position that they have. You loved Jalen Moore. That was your big move this offseason. Day one of free agency, we're going to go out and spend the money to get Jalen Moore. Jalen Moore hasn't only played left tackle in his career. He's done a little bit of everything. He's played some guard. He's played some right tackle. I mean, he wasn't playing a whole lot of left tackle in San Francisco. They got a Hall of Famer at left tackle. So it's not like him playing right tackle is a new thing for them. So if his role is break in case of emergency, okay, that's fine. What would Jawaan Taylor have to do for it to constitute an emergency? I get it. If Josh Simmons gets hurt, that's an emergency. You plug him right in there. How many more? Let's say Jawaan Taylor gets 2 penalties in the first half of this game. That's not being negative. He's the most penalized player in the league. That's a very realistic thing that could happen. Are you prepared to make the switch there? Those penalties, they matter. They add up. And they are a negative for your offense right now that just, you already have a negative with no Rice. You already have a negative with no Xavier Worthy. You can't continue to carry a negative from one of your highest paid players on the team. Coming up in the 4 o'clock hour, Jeff Schwartz is going to join us to talk about the Chiefs offensive line. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
This is Wyatt Thompson from K-State, and you're listening to The Drive with C-Dot right here on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Jake from State Farm. I'm winning. I finally cleaned my house, so I'm breaking out my new tropical room spray.
Keep winning and create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. It's like your own personal paradise.
Ooh, hey, grab me a coconut water.
Bundling, just another way to save with a personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just
fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
What's up, everybody? Nick Costos here with the Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM. Make it legendary. Please gamble responsibly. Coming up week 4, Pro Football Sunday, Detroit, a 9-point home favorite over Cleveland. Total in the game, 44.5. And both teams with impressive wins this past weekend. Cleveland upsetting Green Bay and Detroit smacking around Baltimore on Monday night. And as far as betting this game goes, I think the point spread's a little too big, and I do like Cleveland at +9. Cleveland's defense is excellent, and Cleveland has a good interior defensive line, which Baltimore did not. Detroit will not run like they did against Baltimore, so on Sunday, let's go Cleveland +9. That's it for this Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM. Download the BetMGM app today, and please gamble responsibly.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
After 40 years and more than 8,000 five-star reviews, Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter is your go-to company for home service needs. Call Hamilton today for our $79 mainline drain cleaning special. The pros at Hamilton will inspect your drains with video camera technology to pinpoint exactly what is needed to clear those clogs and help prevent expensive drain repairs. The expert technicians at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to solve your problem the right way, the first time. Visit callhamilton.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
Race weekend returns to Hollywood Casino at Kansas Speedway with over $60,000 in prize giveaways. Friday night, stay cool with the Pin Play app and pick up a 12-pack of Coca-Cola while supplies last. Saturday is the day of winners with a winner every 15 minutes. And on Sunday, win up to $2,500 in Penn bonus play with the Hollywood Casino 400 even or odd drawing. Find your fun at Hollywood Casino. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
With great deals coming this Prime Big Deal Days, October 7th and 8th, greatness is a deal away. So if you love baking, you can get a deal on a new mixer, transforming you into the Lord of the Loaves.
Hear ye, hear ye! Make way for the baron of brioche, the sultan of sourdough, the Lord of the Loaves, Prime Member Dave!
Yeah, hi?
Get up to 40% off with Prime Big Deal Days, October 7th and 8th.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, want to hear something great? Right now at Wendy's, you can get 2 of the #1 selling bacon cheeseburger in all fast food, the JBC, plus medium fries and a medium soft drink for just $8. Want to hear something else great? Double the burger means double the bacon. Now that's a game changer. 2 of the #1 bacon cheeseburgers with fries and a drink for just $8. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Request $8 JBC meal deal to obtain discount. Individual items at regular price.
Car wreck? Get the money you deserve. Mike's got this.
Paid for, client portrayal, and endorsed. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
After my car wreck, there was a lot I didn't know.
I do know. If you've been hurt in a car wreck, call me. I've got this.
Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Conley Plumbing Solutions, your neighborhood plumber. Call 913-768-7676 or ConleyPlumbingSolutions.com. Wreck in Blue Springs, 70 westbound, the on-ramp from Woods Chapel. Slow through there from the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center on Val 96.5, The Fan.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
So I was reading a story earlier today on ESPN.com, and the story was about potential moves or trades that the Chiefs could make. And one of the players was a running back from the Miami Dolphins. He was a mid-round pick last year. He has been injured. And now, if you look at the Dolphins' depth chart, Devon Achane, he's their starting running back. Ollie Gordon, they got him out of Oklahoma State. The player that I'm talking about is Jalen Wright. He was a fourth-round pick last year. It was pick 120. He hasn't played so far this season. Didn't really have a great rookie year last year, but seems to me to be a player who could just use a change of scenery. If there is any message that we should take from this Tyquan Thornton thing, it is that I can't solely judge if you're a good NFL player or not based off you being drafted to a bad team in a bad situation and because you had a couple of injuries early on in your career. That is exactly what Tyquan Thornton was. Tyquan Thornton was drafted by a team that didn't really have a solid foundation, didn't have competent quarterback play. He dealt with some injuries early on in his career, and the Patriots, who have struggled to evaluate skill position players for maybe the last decade, then said he couldn't play. Well, I'm looking at this Dolphins team. Now, the Dolphins have certainly better skill position players, but just because they don't think he can play, that doesn't tell me that he still can't help you. Now, he is injured right now, but you would have to think that you could possibly get him for real cheap. And it's also important to note that you're not making a move anytime soon. I think that if the Chiefs end up making one of these kinds of moves to get a running back, I think it's going to end up being somebody like that. Rob, do you really know where this Alvin Kamara stuff has really come from? Because that's been a player that a lot of people have kind of thrown out, Alvin Kamara. I don't know how you can look at Alvin Kamara's contract and then think that that's one that the Chiefs are interested in picking up for next year. He has a dead cap next season of $18 million. His base salary is $11 million. So either you think the Chiefs are going to extend Alvin Kamara if they trade him, or you think that they're willing to go from a running back room right now that pays $4 million for the whole room to a running back room next year that could pay out like $15 million. I don't really know where all this Alvin Kamara conversation came with as a player that the Chiefs would seriously consider adding to their roster just based off the way his contract is structured.
Is the Alvin Kamara conversation coming from actual people or is it coming from fans? Because if it's coming from actual people, I 100% agree with you. If there are actual articles and things out there, it doesn't make any sense to me. Alvin Kamara to me screams of fans making this jump. Hey, the Saints stink. Alvin Kamara's good. Bing, bang, boom. Trade time. Like, I think that's where the logic comes from with Alvin Kamara. But I don't know that when you get into the logistics, it makes any sense at all. The Chiefs, for better or worse, have been, the cheapest team in the NFL at running back? One of the top 5 cheapest teams in the NFL running back? You think they're absorbing Alvin Kamara's dead cap just because they're going to add is he 30 now, year old running back? I don't get where the Kamara stuff's coming from. I think it's coming from his fans speculating on they need a running back. Let's start Googling bad teams and their roster, and let's just connect dots.
I mean, to me, the player that, like, if you're looking for somebody who I think is in the line of what the Chiefs are looking for, someone texted this name and I looked at his contract. A player like Tony Pollard, to me, makes a lot of sense. You can get out of the contract at the end of the season if you want to. You would have to assume that it's a low acquisition cost. Tony Pollard ain't costing you a third-round pick. Right now, his base salary is around $6 million. So let's say as the season progresses, you get that number down to around $3.2 million. Let's say that the Titans are ready to pick up a little bit of money to potentially help themselves get a better draft pick. To me, that's the kind of player that I think we're talking about. I think if the Chiefs are going to make a move at running back, they're either going to make a move at running back for a player like Jalen Wright, who has failed on his first team, been injured, not getting the playing time, not getting the opportunity opportunities. They trade a 6th-round pick for him and just see if there's anything left, or they trade for a guy like Tony Pollard, a name that you've heard of before, on an expiring contract, to use a NBA term, a guy whose contract you can get out of at the end of the season and basically treat it like a 7-game contract. Those are the only kind of players I can see him going for. I would just be really surprised if they made a move for a player like Alvin Kamara that basically locks him in on next year's team at a price that I don't think they're close to being willing to spend.
So I agree with you from a 10,000-foot view. I think a name like Pollard is very much in play for the Chiefs because of the contract and all those things. I would also tell you names in that Pollard vein are not really cures to the problem. They are just kind of more, they're not even more bodies. It's different bodies. Because you know what Tony Pollard's yards per carry is this year?
It's not good.
3.6.
I hear what you're saying.
He's just old Isaiah Pacheco.
I hear what you're saying. I always say there's March and April problems. I don't know who you think that they are getting. Like, there's no 25-year-old in their prime running back coming to join the Chiefs for the 2025 season. That player just don't exist. Or if that player exists, why is a team giving that player to Kansas City? So I hear what you're saying. I'm with you. Tell me how they improve the running back room then if you think the improvement is coming from outside the building. It's either coming from a Jalen Wright who just has no NFL history, no track record. None. He has none. Or it's coming from you try to find your DeAndre Hopkins, but this time you find him in the running back room. Those are the only options that I think you find. There is no 24-year-old number 2 back on a team that's not making any money, that has a lot of tremendous upside, that a team is just giving to you at the trade deadline. No, that ain't happening.
The text line is saying Breece Hall. The acquisition cost on Breece Hall would be a lot higher than Tony Pollard.
And you're also giving him a contract at the end of the season. Like, you aren't just picking up Breece Hall to then just let him walk in free agency at the end of it. So if you guys are telling me that you're perfectly fine with Breece Hall, who is an unrestricted free agent at the end of the season, if you're fine with trading with Breece Hall for the mindset of, all right, well, then we're going to sign him to a long-term deal, that's fine. But
you know I'm not pro that plan.
I'm with you. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, if you're telling me that Breece Hall is going to be that player, so you're going to get him, are the Chiefs willing to spend a possibly 3rd or 4th round pick for a player that they don't want to sign at the end of the season? Maybe they're willing to do it. But I would just ask the question, you guys weren't willing to spend a 3rd or 4th round pick on a running back you could have for the next 4 years. Now you're willing to do that for a player that you're going to have for the next 2 months? It just doesn't add up to me. It just doesn't make any sense to me. None. It's like you're heading to the airport and you could have bought some $10 headphones. You're like, nah, I'll just get some. Well, now at the airport, those same headphones cost $60. Why didn't you get some when you were sitting there at Target? It just doesn't make any sense to me. How now we can be fine with them doing this, it just doesn't add up to me. I'm not really understanding it. Coming up at the top of the hour, I want to play for you guys. Specs says, Specs sometimes he itches to still be behind the mic and give you guys his opinion. We recorded what he had to say about the Chiefs. We'll play it for you next. Keep it right here, so drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison, a show that prides itself on getting it right.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5, The Fan. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. You've got a crash near Liberty. It is 35 southbound past mile marker 19. Right lane is blocked. Shawnee, that's a crash 35 northbound just before 635, blocking the left lane. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center on Val 96.5, The Fan.
If you could hear Old Spice Fiji Antiperspirant, what would it sound like? First, you'd start with Fiji Antiperspirant's amazing scent of palm trees. Add pure notes of fresh coconut and layer on 24/7 odor and sweat protection. You won't hear any dyes or parabens because with Fiji, you won't have any. So while your regular antiperspirant sounds like this, Old Spice Fiji sounds like this. Sounds like it smells amazing.
When your name's on the paint job, your primer better hold up. Painters trust Kills primers for serious adhesion, stain blocking, and a finish that lasts. Now, the full Kills lineup is available exclusively at the Home Depot. Need it fast? Get same-day or next-day delivery, or order online and pick it up in-store. Kills primers, pro results, faster. The Home Depot. If you're a pro, you know.
Whether you're looking for a Bronco, an Explorer, an F-150, or even a commercial vehicle, Robside Ford has the selection.
That's right, Kevin. We've got it all. And we've got the lowest prices in Kansas City. No gimmicks, just great deals on every new Ford.
And it's not just inventory, it's how you do business. Robside Ford makes it very simple.
We do it different on purpose. Non-commissioned sales team, upfront transparent pricing, top dollar trade-in values, and a process that's actually easy.
You've even got the reputation to back it up, Bobby. Kansas City's only top-rated Ford dealer on Google. 4.8 stars, 3,000 reviews. Wow.
And this year, we're proud to be voted Best Car Dealership in KC by Kansas City Magazine.
So if you're ready for a better car buying experience,
come see us at 135th and State Line, or check us out at robsight.com.
From Broncos to F-150s to work trucks, Robside Ford has what you need.
If you want simple and easy, you're not going to find a better spot.
Robside Ford. Buy right. Drive happy.
This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, where we've successfully treated thousands of men for low testosterone and helped them feel like their old selves again. Please take a moment and listen to how we help this patient.
Hi, this is Doug. I'm a patient with Heartland Men's Health. I've been doing low T treatment for just under a year now. I've always dedicated my life to work. I've always found the time to go to gym. I'm 46 years old. My energy level has been on a roller coaster. With work, when we would have like long, stressful meetings, I would notice that I was very exhausted and drained afterwards. And with the low T treatment, I'm not as stressed. I started to feel a lot more level-headed. The roller coaster kind of went away. I think Heartland Men's Health, they really have it figured out. The professional staff, I think it's a wonderful treatment for men of any age. And it's definitely a benefit I'm going to continue.
Thank you. It's true. Your initial appointment includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Century Roofing remains the best roofing company to call for insurance claims from storm damage, roof repair, and inspections throughout Kansas City. They were just voted as both the best roofing company in Johnson County for the 4th straight year and the best roofing company in all of Kansas City by readers of the Johnson County Post and the KC Star. So trust the pillars of strength and go with locally owned and female-owned Century Roofing at CenturyRoofingKC.com.
Century Roofing, trust the pillars of strength.
Fall's the best time of year to clean up the outside of your home or business, and the best way to do that is with a fresh coat of paint from my friends at CertaPro Painters. You want your home or business to make a great impression, and that starts with the exterior. And when you choose CertaPro Painters, you're choosing the best in the business for your job. CertaPro Painters go the extra mile. If there's a way to save you money, they'll let you know, and they take care of every detail from start to cleanup. So do what we did and schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Brew Day is back. Every Wednesday throughout September, we're celebrating one of our most beloved things, beer. Get to your favorite lodge and score 29-degree, 22-ounce Twin Peaks brews on draft for just $3.99 all day.
This report is brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts, your professional parts people.
Right now, receive up to a $25 O'Reilly gift card after rebate with the purchase of select Superstart batteries at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
What's up, Kansas City? It's Nick Bolton. Tune in on game days to hear the play-by-play with Mitch, Danon, and Clean on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
All right, coming up in about 15 minutes, we'll be joined by Jeff Schwartz, former Chiefs offensive lineman, Panthers offensive lineman. We'll talk to him about what he's seeing from the Chiefs O-line and also the running game, how he would kind of put a spark back into the offense. So I want to play this for you guys. A lot of it stems from the comments that we heard earlier today from Andy Reid. Here's what he said about Jawaan Taylor.
You know, when he doesn't have the penalties, his percentage has been good. So you know, you could argue one of the better tackles in his pass protection game. You know, so I'm conscious of that, and then I'll take care of it from there.
So that was what Andy Reid had to say earlier today about Jawaan Taylor. I think it's pretty safe to say that they are not planning on making any changes at the position. So Speck, he's a part of our show meetings during football season, just, you know, bouncing ideas around. And he said, you know what? I've got a Speck says. And I was like, all right, man, if you got a Speck says, I'm not going to hold you back. So here's what Speck went into the booth to say.
All right, guys, I saw the news today that Jawaan Taylor is most likely going to be the starting right tackle on Sunday when the Ravens are here at Arrowhead. And I thought of a comparison that I think makes some sense in terms of loyalty between Andy Reid and Dayton Moore. If you remember, Dayton was fiercely loyal to his guys, from Hosmer to Kane to Moustakis to Hunter Dozier, right? These were guys that he was loyal to and was going to give every opportunity to win as many games as possible with that group. And it was great for 13, 14, 15, 16. But the downside of loyalty is when losing starts popping up. You know, in hindsight, I bet Dayton Moore would have loved to have moved on from Haas and Moose and Kane prior to that 17 season and gotten something in return. But again, he was fiercely loyal to keeping that group together. And that resulted in some really down years from 2017 to 2024. And now you fast forward to the Chiefs, or you go across the parking lot to the Chiefs. You know, Jawaan Taylor's been here 3 years, part of 3 teams that has made it to a Super Bowl, 2 championships. Sometimes it's hard to see the reality for a guy that you're extremely loyal to. And McCole Hardman is an example. Bring back Kareem Hunt's an example. Loyalty is always great when you're winning. But sticking with a guy too long because of loyalty is typically how things start to crumble. And I hope that's not the case with Jawaan Taylor. I just hope that it's not loyalty keeping him on the field as opposed to something with his play.
Rob, I want to give you a chance to reply to what the boss man had to say. I'm big on their actions over their words, and I understand that we as fans or media or whatever, we feel a certain way about Jawaan Taylor. Every action of the Chiefs leads you to believe that they think he's one of the better right tackles in the National Football League. They gave him a tremendous contract, and in the middle of that contract, they then renegotiated it to basically guarantee a 3rd season for him. You could have been out of that deal by now. We wouldn't be having this conversation, but we always talk about restructures, and sometimes I think people hear that and they think that it's a pay cut. No, it's going to a player to move some money around. You kind of got to give something to get something. Sure, if you want me to move some money around, I'm not going to do that so it makes it easier for you to cut me down the line. No, I need you to make certain guarantees. So if I am willing to do this for you, I need you to make sure that I'm going to be good on the back end. That's how they got DeAndre Hopkins. How they got DeAndre Hopkins was ensuring that Jawaan Taylor would basically be on this team. Basically, that's what they did. So I think all they've done is get themselves more and more to the Jawaan Taylor business of things. So I might have a perception, you might have a perception of things. I don't think the Chiefs see him as the problem as we do. I really don't think they see him as the problem that we do. I don't know how you can really look at it any other way based off they have his replacement on the roster, and at some point you're just going to have a sunk cost anyway, and it seems like they're going to continue. Like, they've pulled the plug for other players a lot quicker than this, and they continue to let it ride with Jawaan Taylor.
So I don't totally disagree with Speck's take here. I'm not sure I'm all in the boat the same way he is. I don't think Andy Reid and Brett Veach have elevated to that Dayton Moore level yet. But I do think Speck is on to something with this comparison, because we talked about it all offseason, and we talked about it during the season last year. There's not a lot of teams in the NFL that love people that know the system more than the Chiefs. Think about all the moves they make. It's all about, hey, is he one of our guys? And they target those people. Kareem Hunt, both last year and now this year. The point he made, McCole Hardman, seems to perpetually be coming back. He's got cut by the Packers. I'm assuming one day in the next 2 weeks, we're going to hit the breaking news sounder. He's on the practice squad. If I were betting, we talk about They bring back their guys. If you have a connection to Matt Nagy or Mike Kafka, whose system is similar, or Andy Reid or whomever, they seem to love you forever. So I do think Speck's point about them being fiercely loyal about their guys is valid. I don't know it's elevated to the Dayton Moore point yet, because at the end of Dayton Moore with the Royals, I think he was blind to the problems because he thought his guys were going to fix it and just be part of the cure, and they were actually part of the problem. Your Mondesies, your Doziers, we can name the players. So I don't think it's elevated to that level of bad yet, but I do see the comparison because the Chiefs, man, they love people who have been in their building before, and when you're losing, you're now seeing the text line and social media say maybe some new blood would be nice, and they have historically not done that.
Could you argue that's been the case at wide receiver? What you're talking about, that being loyal 100%. And bringing those guys back this offseason, when I think most people would have welcomed a little bit of a shakeup in the room, they decided to virtually run the same room back. It's the same room as last year. Now, we didn't know about Tyquan Thornton. He was a guy who was a practice squad player, was on the reserve list. You ended up bringing him back. So they get all the credit in the world for that move. But outside of Jalen Royals, they didn't really add anybody in 2025. They were happy to bring back Juju Smith-Schuster. They were happy to bring back Hollywood Brown. Now that McCole Hardman got let go, we'll see if they bring him onto the practice squad. You are right. Like the same way that Dayton had his guys, Veach and Andy certainly have their guys. And I think at least what you're running into right now is now when your offense is stalled a little bit, now it is time to possibly go outside of that comfort zone and kind of start to find some new blood to replace them. That's why when yesterday I gave you my list of what I'd like to see change with the offense, I was told that you got Brashard Smith to play that Jerick McKinnon, that Samaje Perine role. Well, their offense could really use that kind of weapon that you're throwing it to them 5 to 7 times. You're getting them out in space. You're using them out of the backfield. You're doing screens. That could kind of substitute your lack of ability to run the ball if you can now utilize him in that short passing game. So some of it is just being more creative and using the weapons that you have. And the other side of it is just getting more out of the players that you currently have on the roster, getting more out of Juju, getting more out of Hollywood Brown, and getting more out of your right tackle right now. He has 7 penalties so far this season. Those penalties have had negative effects on Kansas City. They hurt you in week 1. They hurt you in week 2. And it took a scoring drive away for them in game 3.
Like I said, I'm not all in on the take. I'm not saying it's a perfect take, no notes, perfect. Yeah, I should say that, and I'll get a raise. But I don't think it's that perfect of a take. But I think the analogy is pretty solid. And some of the text line makes this point. Another point about Dayton, which his loyalty cost the Royals, and why this analogy could be something to keep an eye on, is that you could argue that Dayton staying loyal to his guys who were probably should have been moved on from, hurt the rebuild and set them back. What did you talk about on the show Monday? The Chiefs, position players, their weaponry is all out of their prime. That's not just like, hey, they played. Travis Kelce's an exception. That's not because they played here for 6 years and then the time had just come. They targeted guys out of their prime in free agency because they are their type of player. So I think the analogy is pretty strong. I hope Andy Reid and Brett Veach buck this trend and maybe next offseason or with the trade this year, target some new blood, something different to energize this offense.
Coming up on the other side, we're going to be joined by Jeff Schwartz, former Chiefs offensive lineman, former Panthers offensive lineman, also played with the Giants. He's had a lot of comments on the Chiefs O-line, also the running game and how they could get it going. We'll really break down the Chiefs O-line and the rushing attack next with Jeff Schwartz. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with CDOT. Tune in as Nate Taylor of ESPN joins the show in studio every Friday at 4 on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. The Drive, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Sailor Jerry's Rum presents FAC 31. Saturday, October 4th at Cable Dahmer Arena. Witness a full night of MMA action. Stream live worldwide. The main event is champ on champ when Jose Hernandez takes on Ray Hayes. Zach Scroggin will battle Alonzo Martinez in the co-main event. Tickets for FAC 31 are on sale now through Ticketmaster or the Cable Dahmer Arena box office. Sponsored by Gary Crossley Ford, Healthy Looks Pet Spa and Wellness, Dream Machine Motorsports, Apple Roofing, and Tintmaster.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300. You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code CODE to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code CODE for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code CODE for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
From Kansas City to the capital city, Washburn University is close. Sure, it's close to home, but it's also a close community where you get close to other students and professors, to incredible opportunities, from study abroad to internships and jobs, and where it's always easy to get close to the action. Get one step closer to your dreams. There's no place like Washburn. It's not even close. Learn more at washburn.edu/KC.
Trust, price, and ease of transaction. That is GiveMeTheVin.com. We love to buy cars. People don't trust car buyers. People think the price is going to be wrong, and people think it's going to be a hassle. Trust, price, and ease of transaction. That is what we do at GiveMeTheVin.com, and that's what makes us America's best car buyer. Go to GiveMeTheVin.com right now and get a quote on yours.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear. My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right.
Y'all gotta try that Febreze car.
Just right, just right, just right. Yeah. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistency, all over Febreze car clips right on your vent. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face when it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah. Breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
Tulsa is my home now.
Academy Award nominee Sylvester Stallone stars in the Paramount Plus original series, Tulsa King.
This distillery is a very interesting business, and we gotta know the enemy.
From Taylor Sheridan, co-creator of Landman.
What are you saying? I'm all right. If you think you're gonna take me out, it's gonna be really difficult.
Tulsa King, new season now streaming exclusively on Paramount Plus.
Chumba Casino brings non-stop fun straight to your screen. Anytime, anywhere. Explore hundreds of games like slots, blackjack, and instant scratch-style cards. Sign up to unlock your free welcome bonus and daily login bonuses. And enjoy your chance at exciting prizes without spending a thing. Just click, play, and enjoy the ride. Sponsored by VGW Group. No purchase necessary. See terms at ChumbaCasino.com. Must be over 21 and present in a state where it's legal to play.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Chiefs coverage sponsored by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back.
Hey, it's almost Andy Reid. Renner Garage Door has proudly served our community for decades. The best styles, technology, and family values. That's Renner. Get your free repair or replacement quote today. Forward and back.
RENNER, RENNER.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Renner Garage Door, proudly serving Kansas City for nearly 70 years, offering the latest style, smart technology, and trusted family-owned reliability. Get your free estimate today. RennerDoor.com. RENNER forward and back downtown, 9 Highway southbound, just past 3rd. Right lane is blocked. Around Val 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Hey, it's Trey Smith from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to the Drive with CDOT on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
We're going to be joined by Jeff Schwartz here coming up in a bit, but I want to tell you guys that you can't count on much, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and also Paramount Plus. So watch your local NFL game all season long, kicking off with the juicy Week 4 matchup between the Ravens and the Chiefs. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. Let's head to the phone lines right now to be joined by former Chiefs, former Panthers, and former Giants offensive lineman Jeff Schwartz joins us on the show. Jeff, how you doing, my man?
I'm good. I'm in New York City. I'm just taking a short. I saw your boy Danny earlier today. We're in the same studio together, so my life is good.
That's good to hear, man. A lot of things I want to kind of get your opinion on. Let's just start with this. We played the audio clip right before you came on. Andy Reid said that aside from the penalties, Jawaan Taylor has been a plus for them in pass pro, and they're not planning on making a move. His penalties really frustrate me. I think you've seen them stall drives and take points off the board. How do you evaluate how their right tackle is playing right now?
Yeah, he needs to line up on sides. It's like that. It's that simple. Because he's always been a good pass protector. You know, the negatives on him only are the penalties, right? It's like, look, you can at tackle, you can do what wide receivers do. You can get in your stance and you can turn and point to the side judge or line judge and say, like, am I good? And if you do that a couple of times, you're pretty much going to be okay. If you line up too far back one time, they'll give you a warning. But the penalties, like, you just have to stop it. Otherwise, he's fine. Otherwise, he's a good player. And there are lots of stats on what penalties do to stall offensive drives. And for so many years, the Chiefs' offense, it didn't matter, but now it matters, right? The margin of error has gone so small without the wide receivers, and maybe Thornton's helped with that a little bit last week. But first and 15, second and 15, like, they're not overcoming that at the rate they used to because the offense is not as good. So it feels even worse now when you get the penalty for that reason.
And that's kind of been my point, too, that with the amount of injuries that they have right now in the wide receiver room, it's tough to overcome a missed kick by Harrison Butker. It's tough to overcome a penalty on 3rd and 12 in which Pat converts it, but now that penalty, you got to replay 3rd down, and they're just adding up all of those things. I would at least entertain a switch to Jalen Moore at right tackle. Are you at that point, or do you think they should ride out with Taylor?
I think Taylor's is better than Moore, and you have to have a talk with them. Like, I think Andy Reid benched them for drives in the past, If Moore was better, I think he would play. And Andy Reid, one thing about Coach Reid, man, he's never going to show allegiance. Like, he's whoever gets it done for me, man. More in there. I just don't know if Moore's better right now. And so that's where they're at, right? Like, you can't just take him out. It has to be someone viable to come in. Again, Jawaan Taylor's a good pass protector. And the numbers this year show that. I saw a tweet earlier today with the PFF numbers or some official website, and Taylor's near the top of right tackles. He's a good player. He's got to stop. Like, it's like when you have kids, right? You tell your kids, like, I just want you to, like, start well, right? Like, do the things, like, to start your day well. And for him, it's start your day by just lining on sides. It shouldn't be that hard. Just do that simple thing every day. Every time you get to the line of scrimmage, make sure you're on sides, and it would stop all of this.
Right now, we're talking to Jeff Schwartz, former offensive lineman in the National Football League, just getting his thoughts on the Chiefs' offensive line and what they need to do moving forward. Let's talk about the run game. You've been pretty vocal about the run game. This team, they just cannot run the football despite spending a lot of resources on that offensive line. What are you seeing from them? Why have they been unable to run the football successfully?
So I complain about this for probably going back to my brother was on the team. It's just not a commitment to running the football. And I'm not saying you has to be your offense, but you do have to try to run the football. And even last game, like there was the touchdown drive after the half was probably their best drive in weeks, right? It was a great drive. They ran the ball twice under center, and they got 20 yards and 2 rushes. But then, they didn't do it again. And you have to try to run the football. And their scheme, I've hated their scheme for years. It's not anything new. I've said these things on social media before. I think their run scheme, shotgun, inside zone-ish most of the time, or some sort of between the tackles run. Or they run outside zone with a back offset weak, and by the time that it takes too long to get the back going front side, because the backs are slow, man. They're just, I hate calling anyone slow. I'm as slow as can be, but there's rushing yards over expected essentially, right? Do they get more yards than they should? And the answer is no. They get negative yards. These backs, Kareem Hunt is older, is what it is. Pacheco got hurt, unfortunately. He was never really a sprinter type guy, and so you combine really the lack of commitment to a coherent run plan, plus running backs are not very good at breaking tackles, and you get where you're at now. And then exacerbating that is you can't pass the ball either, right? So when you're passing the ball as well as you normally can, teams don't care about the runs. So you're able to sort of break out some runs and make it happen. But now you can't pass the ball really, so teams are like, well, we'll stop the run too. So, look, I think that if they just committed to doing it, they'd be fine. We've seen in small samples where they actually try to run the football conventionally under center, and it works out just fine.
That's kind of where I am with this team, too, is I don't know if they have the infrastructure to kind of run out of the shotgun RPO sets. I want to see them just line pad up under center, get Isaiah Pacheco's movement going forward, use his natural momentum, and just simplify the game for him a little bit. Hey, hit this gap, make one cut, and just go. I think that could really help boost this run attack.
It can, but, again, they're breaking no tackles, man. I get it, 6 yards to 6 yards, but, 6 would be nice if you get 22 to make someone miss, so I'm with you. I would love more downhill runs. I think that it also opens up Mahomes' play-action pass ability, and he still throw the ball deep. We know that. We saw him, obviously, the one pass interference, threw the ball 70 yards. We saw the two throws to Thor. He can do it, so you go under center, you open up the play-action pass a little bit, and, there's just more offense you can run. And what's so funny about, Andy Reid is he grew up doing that. That's the West Coast offense in a nutshell. And, he's gone away from that, obviously. I get it. You go more gun because it makes, Mahomes more comfortable. But Mahomes is operating fine under center, too. And, look, here's the other thing, too, that's kind of frustrating is, so, Pacheco takes out Simmons on a pass play, on a play action pass, and that was the first backwards pass was because Pacheco just trucked Simmons. I have no idea why. He's not supposed to be in the C gap. There's no reason for him to be over there. So he trucked Simmons, and then the backwards pass into one. The other backwards pass, he just ran backwards. I don't know how else to put it. Tweeted out. He ran the wrong direction. So I just you just gotta be better at that position, man. And I thought Smith would play more. Reid's always been hesitant. Sorry about that. He's walking in the city. Reid's always been hesitant to play young guys, which a lot of coaches are, so I'm not surprised. But I thought Smith had a little bit of juice in the preseason, and I would hope he gets a little more run. But we'll see what happens.
Jeff, I'll get you out of here with this last one. It comes off to me like Isaiah Pacheco is just thinking too much right now. He used to run with a certain anger, a certain violence. You mentioned just not breaking tackles. I think since that leg injury, I don't think that it's physical anymore like it was last year. It feels much more mental to me.
And that's certainly true. I can't profess to know what's in his mind. I know that when I've been hurt, it takes time to sort of be yourself. The hardest part about being hurt, honestly, is that sometimes you just never recover to your 100%, right? And I've had that in my career where my last injury, like my ankle just never got back to 100%. And you just overthink things because you can't physically do what you used to do. And so you go to, I remember there were times I watched film and I was like, what am I doing? Like my body is moving in a way that I didn't think it was moving that way. It's because you just physically can't play the same way you used to. I'm not saying particularly at that point, but I understand the mentality of players that get to that certain point of their career where your body just betrays you essentially. And it's hard to adjust in real time when that's happening. So again, this is pure speculation, of course, right? But I could see that playing a factor in maybe, his confidence as a runner.
That is our guy, Jeff Schwartz, joining us on the show today. Really happy to talk to him about the Chiefs' offensive line. Jeff, man, appreciate you popping on today, man.
Take care, buddy. Have a good one.
Absolutely. That is Jeff Schwartz joining us on the show today. Happy to catch up with him and get his thoughts on the Kansas City Chiefs. Can we take a quick detour away from the Chiefs? I promise you we'll come right back, but there is a topic that I want to get you guys' opinion on because maybe I have just gotten soft. So there is a head coach. He is the head coach of Wagner University. He is currently under investigation from his school. He is under investigation for mistreating and verbally abusing players. Now, I can't say the words on the radio that he called the players, but he called the players a word that starts with a P, a word that starts with a B, and some other words. He then told another player when the player asked for water, the coach then told the player, if you're thirsty, just swallow your spit, and wouldn't allow the players to get a water break. So the players started hiding little water and little Gatorade bottles around the gym. Well, the coach found the Gatorade, he found the water bottles, and then when he found them, he told his team that they were going to run until all the Gatorade was out of their bellies. So the players in 2025, in which they got a little bit of power, they went to the administration, told on the basketball coach, and now the basketball coach is under investigation and might be suspended. And I clicked on the mentions of this because I was genuinely curious what people thought. And a lot of people were on the coach's side of this. These players are just getting soft. This is what playing basketball should be like. This is what playing sports would be like. I went through a lot worse when I was coming up. How dare the players do this? And in some ways, I understand that philosophy. Like, this was part of sports growing up. Your coach would yell at you. Your coach would curse at you. Your coach would call you a name. You would have to run. You would have to do all these kind of things. And that is just part of what playing sports was like. This is my question to you guys, 913-586-7965. And I mean this from a very genuine place. Why have we accepted that this is coaching? Why have we accepted this? What part of coaching is not allowing college students to go get water at the end of drills? Or high school players? Remember that scene in Remember the Titans when, the offensive lineman asked for water? He's like, water makes you weak. No, water is very important. We've been doing exercises. I'm thirsty. Coach, let me go get some water. I want to come back and continue said drill. Why have we accepted that kind of treatment as coaching and making you more of a man and teaching you discipline? That's not what it sounds like to me. So when I hear this and I hear, well, this is how I was coached, this is what it should be, these players are getting soft, what if we have just quite simply realized that this isn't the most effective way to talk to 15 to 20-year-olds anymore? And that maybe, just maybe, as we have become in some ways a more evolved society, maybe we have just simply learned that we shouldn't treat other people this way. Why are you calling a 17-year-old a female dog? That's part of coaching? That's part of teaching them discipline? That's to make you better as a man, as a football player? That's teaching them life? That doesn't sound like a message we should be teaching kids. You can't go get water. You got me running suicides. We can't get a drink. And then when we do actually get something to drink, we're penalized for it. I just don't know why we have equated these things as coaching and a part of the experience of playing sports. That part is lost on me.
I don't disagree with what you're saying. I think coaching has become too much sometimes of, look how much I'm yelling at my players to, elicit toughness. But I do think there's a line, because you've seen the social media clips the same way I have. Nick Saban, when he was coaching Alabama, did not take it easy on his players. He was harsh on his players. He never prevented them from having water, though. He never called them weak and words that we can't say on the radio because they were thirsty. We've all heard stories, and it's KU basketball lore about how difficult boot camp week is up in Lawrence. But there's a pretty stark difference between boot camp in Lawrence and I'm going to make sure all the Gatorade gets out of your belly. I do think there is something to coaches are trying to push people to the brink to kind of bring them together, galvanize a team. That's what coaching has always been. But I think that line, when you cross it from, hey, we're trying to make you tougher, and you pass it, is a larger fall off now than ever before. And maybe that's why the Nick Sabans and co are not in coaching. But I do think, a little bit to the commenter's point on your story, some of that just is, hey, they have to coach you tough to develop a toughness. I think this guy went way too far, though.
Yeah, and I guess what my question is what are we defining as toughness and what is allowed and what is not allowed in this? Like, I'm reading the text line. If we are comparing what it's like to play college basketball to going to the Marines, then haven't we just lost the plot in all of this? Going to play basketball in Kansas is not serving in the military. So how you motivate and mentally prepare them to be the best that they can be, we should acknowledge that that is very different than what you need to go play basketball against Iowa State at Hilton Coliseum. That's what I mean in all of this. I feel like we have been told our entire lives this is what is acceptable behavior from the coaches and people who are supposed to have our best interest at heart. And I think now, as we're just getting older, and maybe now that we're the parents and we're the old guys, we're like, wait, that actually didn't make me really feel good. It didn't make me feel good at 15 years old for this 40-year-old man to be yelling at me and screaming at me. And he was making it seem like this was the best thing for me. And no, it actually made me want to quit playing sports. I just want to know why this is part of the experience. Now, maybe the cursing part of it, like, all right, him calling you a punk, like one of the words, like, all right, him calling you a punk, like, you got to be a little tougher than this. Like, since when have we just allowed, like, how is cursing at teenagers, how is that getting the most out of them? That just is lost on me in all of this. The water thing is just insanity to me. Like, we've now gone past the point of anything because I watch these NFL games, they drink a lot of water. Almost every time they stop, I see they have somebody else. The players don't even squirt water in their own mouths. They have some woman come around or some random man come around and squirt the water for them. So we get water in the game. Why can't we get water in the practice? That's the part that is extreme in all of this. That just, I don't understand why we have classified that as coaching. And it just seems like there are better, more effective ways to get the most out of people than that.
And this is my point. I think there is a not so subtle difference between belittling a teenager and yelling at him to get your point across. I don't mind if a coach is yelling at you. To my Nick Saban point, I think it's like a famous clip now. If you have an Instagram reel, you've probably seen this clip where he's yelling at one of his players that he has to cut harder. Like, you can't just lollygag a slant. You got to cut. And he throws his hat and he's all angry. He, in that moment, is coaching. Yes, he's yelling. Yes, he's, being demonstrative. But he is still, in fact, coaching and teaching. He's yelling, cut, you got to cut. There is a pretty big difference between Nick Saban doing that, and I'm cherry picking a Hall of Famer, and this coach at Wagner saying no to water, which is insanity to me, and belittling the kids. I don't mind yelling at the kids if you're yelling because you're angry or frustrated or you're trying to get your point across. Yelling at them and calling them names that me and you would be fired for saying in your own gym in October, September of college basketball season is far beyond the line. And I think, to your point, the line has become blurred for some coaches of what is being demonstrative and yelling while still teaching and coaching versus what is demonstrative and yelling and now belittling your team. They are two very different things, and I feel like people bad coaches mostly blur the lines on what the two are.
I think just as I've gotten older, and we can move on and talk about the Chiefs, I just wanted to get you guys' opinion on this. If you just tuned in, there is a head coach. He is the head coach at Wagner University. He was recently suspended from coaching. The players went to the administration and talked about some of the practices that they have had. He called the players some names. He also wouldn't let them get water during drills. And my main point was just when it comes to coaching, like, why have we just accepted that this is a part of coaching? I think at least for me in my own life, this is just where I am, is I'm just big on if it can't be reciprocal, then maybe we shouldn't do it. Like, I'm not going to talk to you on the text line any way that I wouldn't want you talking to me. I'm not yelling at you if you also, because I don't want you yelling at me. And I think in a lot of these situations, what we just see is the players have been able to level out the dynamic of things. 20 years ago, the coach could treat you any kind of way he wanted to, because what option do you have? If you choose to leave this university, you got to sit out for the next year. Who knows what that means for your academics? Maybe you can't go play somewhere. So the players just quite simply didn't have a whole lot of power back then. I think what you are seeing now is it has to be much more even because the players have a choice. They have a say in the matter anymore. You can't talk to a certain player any old kind of way anymore, because if he doesn't like the way that you talk to him, I can just leave. I don't have to be here anymore, and I can instantly go play somewhere else that is going to put me in a much different environment. That's not too much different than life. Some of you will quit your job because you didn't like your boss, and you just instantly went to go work somewhere else. You don't have to put up with, hey, I don't like this person. No, it's time for me to go find another job. That's also life too, where there has to be a back and forth between adults, and in the environment, there has to be a yin and a yang. And I think for too long, we have just accepted that the coach has all of this power and the students have none of this power. And I think what you were starting to see is something we've always known from the very beginning of, it doesn't have to be that way. I don't think the players should have all the power, and we talk about limiting them, whether it's an NIL or the transfer portal, but the coaches also shouldn't be able to operate however they want to. There has to be balances in the way that this thing works.
I also think, to your point of, college is changing. If you're going to yell at and belittle a kid's going to transfer. I've always felt like the pros have always made this work. Like, Andy Reid is one of the best coaches in the NFL, maybe of all time. You know what I saw him do on Sunday? Chest bump one of his players and get in one of his best players' faces yelling. Bill Belichick might not be working in college. He was on the cover of Us Weekly, but he's probably the best NFL coach of all time. Do you know what he did with guys making money on his team? He was still able to coach them and get the best out of them and discipline them without ever being in the news for being a problem. Like, I understand your point about NIL and players can transfer now, and I get it. The text line's making that point too. But I think that point's just a little bit lame to me, because NFL football and basketball coaches, or NBA coaches, have been able to do all the same things college coaches are, with discipline, building a program, building a culture, all that stuff. And you don't hear stories about them being like, well, it can't coach because so-and-so makes $1 million. I think the NIL excuse is a little bit lame to me at times.
Coming up on the other side, I want to talk about the Chiefs' defensive line. They performed great in Sunday night's game. They're going to need to do that on Sunday against the Ravens. I'll give you the numbers next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Save up to $4,500 with Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter, thanks to limited time tax credits and special incentives on energy-efficient HVAC systems. But don't wait. Those federal tax credits expire after December. Upgrade your heating and cooling system, and you can enjoy lower energy bills and year-round comfort. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews are great reasons to trust Hamilton. Call 913-888-4262 for your free consultation. Visit callhamilton.com for detailed terms and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
The John Deere Gator XUV lets you cut, pack, drive, scout, weld, stack, feed, pull, load, tow, spray, and haul, all in a single day. Because with the highest cargo box volume in its class, customizable features, and a towing capacity of up to 4,000 pounds, it gets the job done. You just have to get in the seat. Learn more at your John Deere dealer or visit johndeere.com/GatorXUV.
Introducing the new Dell AI PC powered by the Intel Core Ultra processor. It helps do your busy work for you, so you can fast forward through editing images, designing presentations, generating code, debugging code, summarizing meeting notes, finding files, managing a schedule, and responding to Jim's long emails. Leaving all the time in the world for the things you actually want to do. No offense, Jim. Get a new Dell AI PC at dell.com/AI-PC. How those ahead stay ahead.
Numerous brands to choose from, endless options, one incredible experience. At Aristocrat Motors, we treat every driver like royalty and offer the finest luxury vehicle experience in Kansas City. Come see us today and let us roll out the red carpet for you.
Chiefs Kingdom, are we ready to play? It's time for the Chiefs Kingdom scratch ticket, only from the Kansas Lottery. You could win up to $75,000 instantly, with even more ways to win exclusive, one-of-a-kind Kansas City Chiefs experiences through the Play On app. Play the Kansas Lottery Chiefs Kingdom scratch ticket today. See kslottery.com for details.
You could be on the 50 at GEHA Field for the official coin toss at a Chiefs home game this season. Enter to win at chiefs.com/GEHA. GEHA is the proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs.
This is Danon Hughes. In Kansas City football, we honor tradition, but we always look forward to what's next. That's why I'm all in for Flight by Yingling. It's brewed by the oldest brewery in America, but built for today. 2.6 carbs, 95 calories, crisp, clean, and full of flavor, just the way a light beer should be. It's got the legacy and the stats to back it up. Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer and the official beer of Danon Hughes. D.G. Yingling and Son, Pottsville, Pennsylvania.
Man, if your stream isn't as strong as it used to be, or you're taking more breaks to the bathroom than the last 2 minutes of a televised football game,
There's another timeout. We'll be back after this.
it's time to get checked. An enlarged prostate, or BPH, could be the cause. And Kansas City Urology Care is here to help. Fast answers, trusted care. Don't wait. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced urology team. Visit kcuc.com today. At KCUC, you see the best in KC.
Arvest Bank believes in the power of serving others. That's why we're committed to supporting those who serve our communities. We believe that all communities deserve a financial partner who cares. Arvest. We believe.
Chumba Casino brings non-stop fun straight to your screen. Anytime, anywhere. Explore hundreds of games like slots, blackjack, and instant scratch-style cards. Sign up to unlock your free welcome bonus and daily login bonuses. And enjoy your chance at exciting prizes without spending a thing. Just click, play, and enjoy the ride. Sponsored by VGW Group. No purchase necessary. See terms at chumbacasino.com. Must be over 21 and present in a state where it's legal to play.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only, exclusions apply.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Metal by the Foot, your metal project superstore.
Where can you find an extensive line of Blue Demon welding supplies, filler, rods, and wire? Metal by the Foot, located in KC and Topeka. Online at metalbythefoot.com. When you need a piece of metal, remember, metal doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg, just the foot.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Renter Garage Door, proudly serving Kansas City for nearly 70 years, offering the latest style, smart technology, trusted family and reliability. Free estimate today. Renterdoor.com, RENNER. The wreck is Blue Springs, 70 eastbound just before 7 Highway. 2 left lanes are closed. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center on Val 96.5 The Fan.
Subscribe to 96.5 The Fan on YouTube to watch the show from wherever you are.
You know what? I know that sometimes myself and the text line, we have a love-hate relationship, but I really do appreciate you guys. I want you to know that. I'm proud of you guys. I really am proud of you. Rob, have you noticed that we have not had a single text today? It is 4:45. We've been doing this show for almost 3 hours. Not a single person has asked if we want the Chiefs to bring back McCole Hardman. Have you noticed that? Not a single person on the text line. We've received thousands of texts today. Not a single person has said, hey, what do you guys think about the Chiefs bringing back McCole Hardman? I am so happy that you guys, it would appear that you are ready to break the chain of them only knowing the names of 4 wide receivers. There's more out there. I promise you. You got to go out. You got to start dating some new people. You got to start seeing new people. Maybe this is the Tyquan Thornton effect. He wasn't somebody that you knew, wasn't somebody that you were keeping eyes on, but you know what? You decided to give it a chance. And you know what? It's worked. It's worked. All of the time that you guys spent talking about Justin Ross and Jody Fortson, who would have known that they actually signed that player and it works? That's who Tyquan Thornton is. All of those guys that you got fake excited about back in the day, look, it's worked. I'm serious. I'm really proud of you guys. He got released today from another team. He didn't make it to week 8 on 2 other non-Kansas City teams. The Jets instantly got rid of him. And then the Packers didn't get rid of him. I'm serious, man. It brings a tear to my eye. I really feel like you guys are growing. I feel like you're maturing. I feel like you're better. And I'm proud of you for that.
You say it now.
No. Just don't even know. I don't want to have a topic about it. No.
Whenever he inevitably signs on the practice squad, you know the text line is going to say, what do you think he's going to add to the offense?
No. Nothing is what I think he's adding to the offense. I don't think he's adding anything. I don't want him back. I don't want him on the team. I don't want him around the team. The only way I want him walking into Arrowhead is if he's going to bang the drum. If he's going to bang the drum or sing the national anthem, great. If he's going to be the honorary coin toss captain, they got these billboards around the city, yes, great. Don't give him a jersey. Don't give him pads, cleats, shoes, any of those things. No.
If he was singing the national anthem, I think we'd lead the show with it. Singing the national anthem?
I don't care.
That'd be crazy.
I don't want him playing for the team. I don't. I don't want him anywhere near the team. No.
Isn't his wife friends with Taylor Swift?
Yeah, and she can continue to be friends.
Time for Taylor to make a call.
Rob, if you stop working here, that doesn't mean we're not friends anymore. Like, it doesn't. I can still find time to spend time with you. I still love Caroline. Like, it doesn't have to change. So no is the answer to my question. Let me give you guys this stat about how the Chiefs defensive line, they performed very well on Sunday. The Chiefs pressured Russell Wilson on 54% of his dropbacks. Now, you guys might be thinking, well, that means they sent a lot of pressure. In fact, they did not. On the 37 dropbacks from Russell Wilson, the Chiefs only blitzed 6 times on Sunday. So the Chiefs, they got pressures from Chris Jones, George Karlaftis. They both had 7. Omar Norman Lott, they had at least 5 pressures. And they also got to the other team's quarterback. Now, that's good. That is great to hear. I love it. The Chiefs' defensive line dominated. Their defense dominated. Outside of Cam Scatterboo, they didn't really do much offensively. The Chiefs took all of that away. Malik Neighbors didn't do anything. Wan'Dale Robinson didn't do anything. They didn't really generate a whole lot of offense. Now, that's one thing to be able to limit the Giants' offense that is already limited by they had one of the 5 worst quarterbacks in the league. That will not be the situation coming up on Sunday. But this mindset of we didn't need to blitz, we were able to get pressure and dominate with our front 4, that is the pathway to shoring up some of your defensive issues against some of the better teams. They have not gone up against a passing attack that could really exploit them since week 1. I know Philadelphia is the best team in the league. We all know that's not what kind of passing offense they are. Certainly not what the Giants are. I don't care what they did against the Cowboys. That's not a good passing offense. They are going up against a team that can score, that can beat you on the ground and through the air. So this is another test for that young secondary, another test for that defensive line to see if they can control the line of scrimmage. You saw the Lions do it, and they got great pressure on Sunday or Monday. Can the Chiefs do the same coming up against the Ravens this Sunday?
I mean, 7 sacks is incredible by the Lions. I think that's a lofty goal by the Chiefs. I think it's maybe an unattainable goal. But I hope that the Chiefs' D-line looks more like what the Lions' D-line did to the Ravens than what the Chiefs' D-line did to the Eagles. Because you're right. The Eagles are not one of the best passing teams in the NFL, and if you just looked at Jalen Hurts' stats passing the football against the Chiefs that day, you would be unimpressed, and I get why. But there were times watching that game, the old eye test, that you noticed, oh, Jalen Hurts has all day to throw. Like, he has an eternity back there. I joked after the game that he had a time to bake a cake. If the Chiefs give Lamar Jackson time to bake a cake in the backfield, he will burn you, either with his arm or he'll just eject and run. And he is probably the most dynamic running quarterback we have in the NFL, maybe in the history of the NFL statistically. So I don't need 7 sacks. Probably unattainable. But I want that defense to look more like what the Lions did to the Ravens than what the Chiefs did to the Eagles the last time they took on a quarterback with mobility.
Why did I even say McCole Hardman's name?
You spoke that into existence.
Why did I do this? C-Dot, I think McCole is a better receiver than Hollywood Brown. Okay. Am I being punked? Are you guys trolling me? You can't think that. That cannot be a real, genuine, honest opinion. Why did I even mention McCole Hardman? I don't have anything against McCole. I think he's great on a personal level. I really do. I like McCole. It's over. He had a great life. He got to the NFL. He's played in a Super Bowl. He's won Super Bowls. He is part of an iconic moment and memory and history in the National Football League. I think all of those things. I think McCole Hardman's career is done at 27 years old. Unless the Chiefs are bringing him back, I don't know how another team thinks that it's going to work. He was on the Jets for a millisecond. He never got to play for the Packers. It doesn't work for McCole. It doesn't work. Some guys just, that's their career. It was all right. It got off to a decent start. You had some injuries, and life moves on. It's time to go work with Sean Barber at the McGinnis Group. That's what I would tell you to do. You got a degree, right? It's time to use it. I hope you saved your football money. It's over. So, no, I don't think he's better than McCole. Hollywood. I don't think he can help the Chiefs. I think his career is over. I think it's done.
I agree with you. But can I say, I don't think the texter's wrong about saying that Hollywood Brown's overrated. I think Hollywood Brown's better than McCole Hardman, but I don't think Hollywood Brown's better than Tyquan Thornton. I don't think Hollywood Brown is just like some sacred cow, can't find a guy better than him. I think he is better than McCole, but the second part of the texter's text, not the first part. The first part's wrong. The second part about him being overrated, I think is actually a fair point.
I guess I would just ask, like, overrated compared to what? Like, no one thinks that Hollywood's a dog anymore. I don't think anyone has that opinion. I agree with you. I think today I'd rather have Tyquan Thornton than have Hollywood Brown. I think Hollywood Brown is fine. I think he is fine. I think he's not the player that he was a few years ago. I think a lot of that's just injuries. Like, one thing that I think we as fans, and I think we all do this, I'm guilty of it too, is we kind of treat these guys like they're all Wolverine. Remember Wolverine could like get injured and then just like heal himself and go back to normal? Like, these guys can like play football, have surgeries, do all this rehab and just keep being the same player. Like, I don't know how you can watch Hollywood today and comfortable in the offense, all of those things. Like, I don't see the explosiveness. I don't see the ability to run past anybody. I don't see the ability to make guys miss or break tackles. The more and more you play football, the more you get hit, especially like we're talking about a 5'9", 180-pound person. Man, it's hard to keep playing this level of football at that high of a level with the injuries that you've added on. So I'm with you. I'm not the super – I might have been wrong about Hollywood at the very beginning of the season, but he's still an NFL receiver. I don't think that's what McCole is at this point in his career. I don't think he's an NFL player anymore.
I think the league thinks that too, because unless he's a Chiefs practice squad member, I think he's just unemployed. And it's sad that's a second-round pick, and that's how it ended up, but he made a lot of money and good. I'm sure he'll live comfortably for the rest of his life.
Somebody says, if you're talking about bringing back a former wide receiver who scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl, how about bringing back young Joker to sing the national anthem? It's time to end this segment and move on. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Tune in Mondays at 4 to hear the play-by-play voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holtis, on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Metal by the Foot. A problem in Blue Springs. New crash, 70 eastbound just before Woods Chapel. Right lane is blocked. Down south, a two-car crash off to the right shoulder. 435 westbound past Row. Onlooker delay from the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center on Val 96.5 The Fan.
Thank you, KC, for voting Century Roofing the best roofing company in the Metro in the Stars 2025 KC Favorites competition. After 35 years, we're giving back to you by extending our free material upgrade sale through the end of the year. Get a free upgrade to impact-resistant shingles with any roof replacement for better protection and possible insurance savings. Trust the best, Century Roofing. Visit CenturyRoofingKC.com for your free estimate today.
Century Roofing. Trust the pillars of strength.
Century Roofing, we've got you covered, KC.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You like saving money, right? We all do. That's why Allstate just lowered the price of car insurance. Not, but wait, there's a catch. Lower. Actually lower. So if you're shopping around or just want to see how much you could save, check Allstate first for a new lower auto rate that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
This report is brought to you by Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka in Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka in Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. Proud partner of the Kansas City Royals. Each can of Surfside is only 100 calories, and the best part, 0 bubbles. Grab it at the Cave or ask for it at your favorite bars and liquor stores.
Whether you're looking for a Bronco, an Explorer, an F-150, or even a commercial vehicle, Robside Ford has the selection.
That's right, Kevin. We've got it all. And we've got the lowest prices in Kansas City. No gimmicks, just great deals on every new Ford.
And it's not just inventory, it's how you do business. Robside Ford makes it very simple.
We do it different on purpose. Non-commissioned sales team, upfront transparent pricing, top dollar trade-in values, and a process that's actually easy.
You've even got the reputation to back it up, Bobby. Kansas City's only top-rated Ford dealer on Google. 4.8 stars, 3,000 reviews. Wow.
And this year, we're proud to be voted Best Car Dealership in KC by Kansas City Magazine.
So if you're ready for a better car buying experience,
come see us at 135th and State Line or check us out at robsight.com.
From Broncos to F-150s to work trucks, Robside Ford has what you need.
If you want simple and easy, you're not going to find a better spot.
Robside Ford. Buy right. Drive happy.
DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is coming soon to the Show Me State. New Missouri customers can download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today. And when we go live, place just a $5 bet to unlock $300 in bonus bets. Starting November 17th, you can create your DraftKings Sportsbook account in Missouri and get ready for launch day on December 1st. DraftKings Sportsbook brings you everything you need to elevate your game day, including live in-game betting, lightning fast payouts, and endless ways to get in on the action, all right from your phone. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and grab $300 in bonus bets with just a $5 bet when we go live December 1st. In partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Physically present in Missouri. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
If you could hear Old Spice Fiji antiperspirant, what would it sound like?
First, you'd start with Fiji Antiperspirant's amazing scent of palm trees. Add pure notes of fresh coconut and layer on 24/7 odor and sweat protection. You won't hear any dyes or parabens because with Fiji, you won't have any. So while your regular antiperspirant sounds like this, Old Spice Fiji sounds like this. Sounds like it smells amazing.
When your name's on the paint job, your primer better hold up. Painters trust Kills primers for serious adhesion, stain blocking, and a finish that lasts. Now, the full Kills lineup is available exclusively at the Home Depot. Need it fast? Get same-day or next-day delivery, or order online and pick it up in-store. Kills primers. Pro results faster. The Home Depot. If you're a pro, you know.
Has your home been on the market without success? An expired listing can feel frustrating, but it doesn't have to be the end of your journey. The Sharp Homes team specializes in turning things around. The Sharp Homes team can also give you options. Do you want to skip the showings and open houses and go straight to sold? Well, contact them to discuss their instant offer program. If I needed to sell my home, Dawn Sharp, brokered by Epic Realty, would be the only agent I would trust. Google Sharp Homes Team. That's Sharp Homes Team. Google them today.
The technicians you can trust with your house keys. Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
Stay comfortable year-round with fast, reliable service 24/7, even weekends and holidays. Already invested in repairs? Save up to $4,500 on a new HVAC system. Schedule today at AnthonyPHCE.com.
Listen to the Royals and A's this Sunday on the Fan AM 610 with Vern's on Deck show starting at 1. This is your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, and Odyssey Sports Station.
Congratulations on getting through your 9 to 5. Thank you so much for listening. It is The Drive. You were listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan. Coming up in about 10 to 15 minutes, we'll play our conversation with the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. You guys know that he joins us every Wednesday to recap the following week and also look ahead to week 4 against the Baltimore Ravens. We'll talk more about this as the week progresses. But this game is super important for both teams. This is a really, really important swing game for both of these teams. So really happy to talk to the quarterback about that coming up in about 10 to 15 minutes or so. We'll play it. Before we do that, let's continue the main topic today. It is what Andy Reid had to say about Jawaan Taylor. Now, I am frustrated about this really for one reason. They came out and told us this 2 weeks ago that Jawaan has to clean up these penalties.
Speaking to the obvious, the penalties, that can't happen, and so that's where we're at. We've made it loud and clear. Jawaan knows that. He understands it. It's something that, especially in a moment like that in that game when things are a little bit off kilter now with the personnel. And you start to move the ball, you have a couple positive plays, and then boom, a penalty or a second. So 3 penalties and a hold, not good enough. He knows that. When there's no one hiding from it, he's not hiding from it. He understands what's expected, and I think he's ready for that challenge here as we go.
So that is what the offensive coordinator of the Chiefs said 2 weeks ago about Jawaan Taylor. He described a scenario in which the Chiefs' offense has some momentum, and then boom, a penalty happens and kills the drive. That just happened on Sunday. It was 3rd and 12. Patrick Mahomes ran for 17 yards. There was a flag on the play. Everybody knew who the penalty was on. Well, what do you know? A legal procedure, number 74 for the Kansas City Chiefs. 5-yard penalty, replay 3rd down. The Chiefs don't convert. They miss the field goal, and that's points taken directly off the board by a penalty from Jawaan Taylor. Andy Reid was asked about it. Now, this is the head coach. Accountability. Here's what they said.
You know, when he doesn't have the penalties, his percentage has been good. So, you know, you could argue one of the better tackles in his pass protection game. You know, so I'm conscious of that, and then I'll take care of it from there.
Maybe I am the only person that feels this way, and I can live with that. I can live with being on an island based off of my opinion. That's the job sometimes. sometimes I feel like I'm the only one that just thinks, I mean, their offensive line's okay, just based on all of the pieces and parts that they tell me they have. Josh Simmons, who is off to a great start in his career. This topic is not about him. I don't have any issues, any complaints with Josh Simmons. He has been one of the better rookies in the National Football League. I'm looking at Pro Football Focus. Rob, there are 101 tackles in the National Football League. 101 that qualify. What number do you think that Jawaan Taylor is out of those 101 tackles? Where do you think he is?
I'm guessing you're asking me because he's high on the list. I'll say he's in the top 15.
90. Jawaan Taylor is the 90th ranked tackle on Pro Football Focus.
Nailed it.
He just told me pass block. He is ranked 51st in pass block. So Pro Football Focus is telling me that he is average at pass block. He isn't great. He's not bad. He's just middle when it comes to run blocking. Now, here's another one. There are 101 of these players ranked. Jawaan Taylor is ranked 97th on Pro Football Focus when it comes to run block rating. Now, I'm not telling you to treat Pro Football Focus like it's the Bible and their numbers are the end-all be-all. But this team spends more money on center than any other team in the National Football League. More money on right guard than any other team in the National Football League. Their right tackle is their second highest paid player in the National Football League. I just want to feel that effect on Sunday when I watch them. Because when I watch Detroit's offensive line, I see why people think they have the best offensive line. When I watch Philadelphia and I watch the tush push and I see Saquon run for 2,000 yards last year, I see why people think that Philadelphia has the best offensive line. I feel like I'm told how good the Chiefs' offensive line is, and I don't know if I have much data and evidence to show you that they have a great offensive line. They can't run the football effectively. I see their quarterback look uncomfortable. Maybe that's him leaving the pocket a little bit too early, but I don't really get a sense from anybody once the game starts that the Chiefs have the best or one of the best offensive lines in the National Football League. Why am I saying all of this is? This is what I project their 2026 offensive line to be. I think it's going to be the same one that we are watching, minus Jawaan Taylor, plus Jalen Moore. I think it will quite literally be the same offensive line we just watched on Sunday, and they're going to make one switch. You already have that guy on the roster. He's already there. You paid him. You gave him $21 million guaranteed. This other player that you have, he has been a penalty machine. It is impossible for you to tell me, well, if you eliminate the bad plays, then he's been great. The bad plays happen. That's not how stats work. That's not how the game works. We can't just pick the good moments and completely erase the bad moments. The bad moments happen, and they seem to happen at the absolute worst times with him. If there is one position right now that there is an obvious possible improvement for their offense, isn't that it? You're not changing quarterbacks. No one's suggesting you could change quarterbacks. There's not a whole lot in the running back room. Right now, these are the wide receivers that you have. Xavier Worthy was a full participant in practice. Great. I would imagine that he is going to play. If you're a full participant every day this week in practice, I don't know why you couldn't play. Jalen Royals, the exact same thing. The Chiefs are getting closer and closer to getting back healthy and being able to operate at full capacity. Jawaan Taylor still their best option at right tackle, despite being ranked 97th or 90th. Despite being ranked 97th in run, despite being an average pass blocker, I just don't see what they want me to see. Maybe I'm not opening my eyes. Maybe I don't know ball. I don't know what it is. I watch these games the same way that you guys. I just, based on what they've spent, I expect their offensive line to just be a lot better. It's like when you go to like a really fancy restaurant. We've all been in this situation. You look at the menu and it's kind of pricey. In the back of your mind, you're thinking, man, this food about to be good. And then you eat it, you're like, I mean, it was okay. It certainly wasn't worth what I paid for it. That wasn't a $160 meal. We could have went somewhere else and got this same meal for $82. That's kind of how I feel like the Chiefs' offensive line is. They are an overpriced steakhouse. That's how they come off to me. They're an overpriced steakhouse. I spent $295 on this meal. I mean, the decor was nice. It had great lighting. They had somebody playing the piano in the back, but the food was just okay. That's how I think their offensive line is. And I think a large portion of that is Jawaan Taylor. He's the biggest culprit.
I wish I could continue your analogy here, but I'm going to have to I don't have the ability to, but I have this question about the fact that they're sticking with Jawaan Taylor, because Andy Reid basically said it today. Like, in that 14-second cut, he says, yeah, I'll clean up the rest, but yeah, when he's not penalized, he's good, even though he's always penalized. Is it possible the reason they're playing Jawaan Taylor is that Jalen Moore's bad? Like, we don't see practice other than like the 10 minutes they let the media see practice, and I promise you in those 10 minutes, they ain't practicing. They're warming up and they're throwing passes and they're blocking against air. You're not learning anything in those 10 minutes. Is it possible the people who watch practice every day, Brett Veach, Andy Reid, Matt Nagy, Andy Heck, the offensive line coach, every day in practice, they've come to realize it is easier to stick it out with Jawaan Taylor's penalty issue than it is get Jalen Moore on the field, because all those stats to me indicate Jawaan Taylor's replaceable. The Chiefs are not replacing him. Is it possible that his replacement is not, in fact, the second coming at right tackle, and he's just also bad?
I mean, maybe. If that's the case, that is one of the biggest swing and misses in Brett Veach's career. The Chiefs, I would say, had a relatively quiet offseason, and I didn't have any issues with that. The Chiefs' offseason was continuity, and we're going to be very strategic in where we go out and we look for improvements in the roster. Think to the moves they made this offseason. I would say that they made 3 outside moves in free agency. They brought in Jalen Moore, they brought in Elijah Mitchell, and they got Christian Fulton on the defensive side. Elijah Mitchell has been inactive for the first 3 games of the season. So he hasn't done anything, hasn't helped him, hasn't hurt him. They haven't played him in any way. Jalen Moore, I would say that you have a right tackle right now who is rated very poorly on Pro Football Focus and is the most penalized player in the National Football League. So there is an obvious, hey, just swing that guy over at right tackle and let's see what you got. You clearly liked Jalen Moore. You signed him day one of free agency. That was your big move, your big swing. So if they don't think the guy can play, then that was a big waste of their resources for a team that just didn't really do a whole lot in free agency. They did some things in the draft, but for the most part, they kept their team. They brought back everybody from last year. They brought back Hollywood. They brought back Juju. They brought back Kareem Hunt. This was a team that really preached continuity. They re-signed their own guys. So if you don't think Jalen Moore is better than Jawaan Taylor, what does that mean for next year when we're going to be looking at him as the starting right tackle on the team? If he can't be better than the guy that's ranked 90th right now, a guy that gives you nothing in run block, and a guy that commits the penalties, how confident should I be that in him for next season to be their starter?
Which means that maybe we should go into next offseason, which is down the line. We should go into next offseason, me and you, under the impression of they are going to be yet again searching for right tackle. Because if Jalen Moore can't beat out Jawaan Taylor now, why do we think that, hey, just more time in the system and he's going to become a light years better player? Maybe we need to start penciling in right tackle as an offseason issue, which me and you had maybe thought they don't need to do that because they have Jalen Moore on the roster.
Hit it, Rob.
He's QB1.
And at quarterback from Texas Tech, number 15, Patrick Mahomes.
He's a 3-time Super Bowl champion.
Mahomes moving to his left laterally, chased, holding it, and gets out of bounds and up the sideline. He's not out of bounds yet. He's at the 10, inside the 10, he dives for the end zone. Touchdown, Kansas City. A remarkable acrobatic scramble on a 27-yard run. Maybe the best play yet.
2-time MVP and 3-time Super Bowl MVP.
Patrick Mahomes with Mahomes magic. Starting left, peeling right. 3 drives, 3 touchdowns for the Chiefs.
And you can hear him right here every week with CDOT, exclusively on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan. Here's Patrick Mahomes.
Our conversations with the quarterback are brought to you by Telly Tire and Auto Centers. Winning starts with a great drive. Since 1942, Telly certified techs have delivered complete car care with top brand tires and expert auto service. Keep your drive going. Take it to the Telly. Visit TellyTires.com today. Our conversation with the quarterback started with, how good does it feel to be back in the win column?
Yeah, no, it feels good. I mean, obviously, we don't like losing, and losing 2 straight to start the season is something that we hadn't done before. So getting that win was the utmost importance, and we were able to get that done, and now we move on to Baltimore.
We'll get back to football here in just a little bit, but the weather in Kansas City is changing. One thing that I love that you do is I feel like every year you take us on a family fall outing with you guys. Have you guys already planned this? What do you have planned for the fall?
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be something along those lines. You know, it's kind of easy because I obviously have to take my family, and the places that we go to are so gracious and letting me kind of get some room to have the park. And so I like to invite the other guys on the team so they can have, on one of our day offs, time with their family, and that's important because when you're happy at home, man, it gives you better energy when you're in the building.
What's your favorite fall activity? You seem like, somebody who enjoys a corn maze or two.
Yeah, I mean, I have since I've been here. I wasn't big on the whole, like, pumpkin patches and the corn mazes growing up, but being here in Kansas City, you can see how well it's done here, and so I'm excited to get back out there and get to something. If that's a corn maze, pumpkin patch, something like that, and then my kids are already super excited about Halloween, and they're getting their costumes and stuff ready, so I'm sure that'll be a big day in the Mahomes household.
Okay, you and I have been doing these interviews for like 4 or 5 years, and I'm not sure if I've ever asked you this question. Pumpkin spice latte, is that a thumbs up or a thumbs down for you?
It's not for me. It's not even that I don't like the taste or anything like that. I'm just, when I drink kind of my coffees in general, I just drink them black, so it's like a little bit too much for me, but I guess I could have it in little bit of pieces here and there. It's not like I want the full latte.
Right now, we're talking to the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. Let's talk about Tyquan Thornton. I thought it was a very big part in the game that you went deep to him on a ball. He narrowly misses it. It would have been a great catch, and then you go right back to him. Tell us a little bit more about you guys' relationship and the trust that you've built up with him early on in his career in Kansas City.
Yeah, I think he's done a great job of just continue to get better and better. You know, he asked the right questions. He always is trying to be on the same page with me, and I feel like it's just a start, you know, because we've missed on a couple of these deep shots too as well, and a lot of it's my fault, and then some of it's just miscommunication between me and him. But he's someone that works extremely hard, puts in the work, and he's a good dude in the locker room as well. And so I think he's going to continue to get better and better. And as we add guys back, it's going to give him more opportunities to make these big plays.
Where does that rank in terms of catches that you've seen in your time in Kansas City there? Because I'm sitting there thinking it. You know, when you and I were growing up and watching SportsCenter Top 10, that's one of the ones that would have been high up on the list.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, first off, the angle I had to throw it from, it wasn't from the normal release spot, and I'm rolling to the right, throwing it back across the field. He has to find the football with a guy kind of in the way, and then to use your hands, make a strong catch, and hold it down when the guy had really good coverage. I mean, it was a tough catch. I told him that it was harder. The first catch was easier than the second catch, but he made the hard one. So either way, we got it down there to the 1 yard line, and we were able to punch it in for the touchdown.
Now that you are, one of the older guys on the team, not calling you an old guy, but you're one of the older guys on the team, how rewarding is it to see a young guy like Tyquan kind of come in and just grow as his role has grown in the offense in these first 3 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, it's super important, honestly, and obviously it's great to see for him and for this offense, but just someone that puts in the work, and it shows that you put in the work and you continue to work, you can have a role in this offense, you can make big plays in big moments, and obviously it's going to be important for us as the season goes on, and it's been super important at the beginning of the season, so I think his role will continue to grow, and we'll be able to add some other guys back here and there, hopefully over these next few weeks, and really get this offense off the ground.
Let's keep it with the wide receivers. We just saw the report that everybody is scheduled to practice for you guys today. You've seen Xavier Worthy over these last couple of weeks. He's been able to practice, but hasn't been able to play. How do you think he's looked in practice? How close do you think he is to being able to get back on the field?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's really close. I mean, it's more about just us being a little bit more safe about it than we necessarily. I guess the word would be more safe about it and more cautious of it, just knowing it's early in the season. Obviously, every game's important. But he's a player that's going to do a lot of great things in Kansas City. So I feel like he wants to be out there. He's practicing. He's getting the reps in. But they're going to make the best decision for our team at the end of the day for now and for the long term. And I trust that our medical staff and the coaches know when the right time to put him out there is. But I know he's itching to get back on that football field.
Speaking of someone itching to get back on the football field is Rashee Rice. I just saw that he is able to be back in the facility. How good is it to have him around?
Yeah, man. I mean, it really boosts the morale, man. I think just having that guy, he's always got a smile on his face, and he's one of the leaders of that receiving room. We have a lot of young guys there, and he's kind of been the guy that's been in the Super Bowl. He's won the Super Bowl, and he's made a lot of big plays. And just to have him in that room to kind of complete the room, I think the guys are super excited about it. Obviously, he can't practice with us, but he can be in some of those meetings and stuff like that. And it's always good to have the guys back in the building, the guys that you put the work in with.
I was just going to ask you, how do you guys get him ready even though you can't practice? Is it just extra film time? Is it just kind of rebuilding that camaraderie? How do you guys get him ready to come back in 3 weeks?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, first off, you build just the camaraderie and just being back in the building and him getting to hear the plays. Because even though it's 6 weeks, I mean, the offense changes and the plays change, and we work off stuff that's worked and versus what defenses are giving to us. And so for him to be in the building to hear that stuff and how we're talking about plays, it's going to help streamline that the progression of him getting back whenever he can be back. And so he can work out by himself and he can kind of stay in shape and do stuff like that. But being in the building, listening to us, how we talk, and then kind of keeping those relationships going so that when he gets here, we can kind of hit the ground running. It'll be important.
Right now, we're talking to the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, here for a few more minutes. Patrick, certainly tell me if you think I'm wrong when it comes to this. It feels like you and Kelsey's connection has just been a hair off. You guys have had so many big plays, so many moments. It feels like it's just a shade off at times on some of these plays. Are you getting the same feeling?
Not necessarily. I mean, I think the biggest one was when I just dirted the ball. I mean, he was open early, and I got greedy and was trying to throw the ball down the field, and instead of just getting the football to him earlier, and then when I threw the ball, kind of just yanked it to the left and yanked it down to the ground. So I think he's done a great job this year, getting open and making stuff happen. And so for me, it's just about getting the football to him, giving him more opportunities. And as I watch film, he's getting more open than even the opportunities I'm giving him. So just trusting in him that he's going to make the plays happen. And I'm sure as the season goes on, he'll continue to make big plays.
Obviously, things happen on the sideline. It's fiery. Everybody wants to win. There was a moment between Travis and Coach Reid. How did you guys as a team respond to that moment?
You know, what's crazy is I didn't even know about it until after the game. So I think more than anything, man, it's just two people that love football and love the Kansas City Chiefs and love each other. And so we're passionate. We love the game. We want to be at our best every single time we step on the field. And I think more than anything, man, it just made us play even better. So, I mean, when you know the guys love each other and that they're showing passion, you know it's for the right reasons. And so we'll go out there and continue to get better and better.
I've heard you mention this before. You know, you don't really always see it when it comes to Andy, but, you know, there's definitely times where he's a little bit fiery. You see it in the video. Like, you rarely see him get animated like that, but when he does, he was kind of equally giving it back.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's a football player at the end of the day. I mean, I know he's a coach now, and he's been a coach for a long time, but, I mean, he was offensive lineman. He was a good football player, and he has that mentality, and that's what you want is you want a coach that cares, and Coach Reid cares, and I think everybody in this building knows that. And so he's going to push us to be the best that we can be, and he does a good job of being the calm force when we need it to be, but when we need that fire, he can bring it too.
I feel like in rap they talk about, you know, those top three artists with Drake, Cole, and Kendrick. I feel like you have that right now in the NFL with yourself, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson. You guys are just linked together. You guys always seem to play each other when it comes to the postseason. What is it like to be a part of that group and have such competitive matchups between you three?
I mean, it's fun. I mean, you're going to get the best of the best every single time you step on the football field against one of those guys, and their teams as well. And so I think more than anything, it makes you raise your game to another level. I mean, you have to in order to find a way to compete and to find a way to win. And so when you play against the best, man, you bring out the best in yourself. And so it's competition, but it's a bunch of respect there as well. And so I'm just excited to step on that football field and play against one of the best teams in the league.
We asked you last week about a must-win game, and you said you don't really look at regular season games that way. It certainly makes sense. This feels like a really important swing game with both teams being 1-2 right now. One of these teams is going to be 2-2 heading into October, and the other team's going to have to do a little bit of work. This feels like a really important momentum swing game for both you and Baltimore.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, anytime you're below 500, you want to find a way to get that momentum back into your favor. And obviously, we are and they are, but at the same time, we both know how good both football teams are. And so both of us are trying to get our season back on track, and we're both going to come out with that fire and that attention to detail to go out there and play our best football. And it's going to be a great football game.
Right now, if you look at the odds, you guys are considered to be a underdog in this game. You guys are at home again. This is the second consecutive game that's the case. Do you guys take that as disrespect? Do you guys care at all about how people project you guys right now?
I mean, I didn't know that, but I mean, more than anything, I think we never feel like underdogs. I mean, I've said it several times. We feel like we can beat anybody that we step on the field and play, and so we give them the respect, and we know how good this football team is, and we play a lot of games against them and know that. But at the end of the day, we're going to go in with the mentality if we think if we play our best football, we can win.
Patrick, man, really appreciate your time. Happy to catch up with you next week.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Absolutely. That is the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. His appearances on the show are brought to you by Telly Tire and Auto Center. Winning starts with a great drive. Since 1942, Telly certified techs have delivered complete car care with top brand tires, expert auto service. Keep your drive going. Take it to the TellyTire.com today. Be sure to check out the website. Coming up on the other side, we'll talk more about the Chiefs being home dogs. We'll also talk about the state of the AFC as we are closing out the month of September. We'll also talk about the Ravens defense. We got a lot to get into. Don't turn that dial. So drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Hey, folks, it's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here. Many men remember their first time. Not that first time. I'm talking about the first time that erectile dysfunction ruined that special moment. And if you're over 50, then the chances are then you've experienced this before. That first time can be frustrating. It can be a little bit embarrassing. But here's the good news. At Heartland Men's Health, that first time can also be the last time. Heartland Men's Health specializes in treating ED when the pills and herbals fail. With a success rate of over 90%, many men see results just after one visit. So your first visit is just $99, which includes a consult, lab work, and if medically advised, you get a test dose. And if it doesn't work right there in the office, then your visit is on the house. So don't let ED define your sex life. Call my friends at Heartland Men's Health today at 844-447-6600 or check out the website, heartlandmenshealth.com today. You can also stop by and visit any of the 3 area locations, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City. Be sure to stop by Heartland Men's Health.
Fall's the best time of year to clean up the outside of your home or business, and the best way to do that is with a fresh coat of paint from my friends at CertaPro Painters. You want your home or business to make a great impression, and that starts with the exterior. And when you choose CertaPro Painters, you're choosing the best in the business for your job. CertaPro Painters go the extra mile. If there's a way to save you money, they'll let you know, and they take care of every detail from start to cleanup. So do what we did and schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated.
Around here, we've got each other's backs. When it comes to health insurance, we want that same kind of support. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City gets that. They're from around here too. Backed by the national strength of the Cross and Shield, they help you make confident choices, no matter where you are. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are. That's the benefit of blue.
Hi, I'm John Ray, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. Getting engaged? So friends, listen up. Shane Company engagement rings are protected with our all-inclusive free lifetime warranty. We stand behind the same quality we've offered since 1929. Our rings are crafted to last. It's why our warranty is the only one that protects your center stone. We also cover repairs, resizings, cleanings, and so much more. That's money you keep for you and your family. Because a friend always has your back. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Hi, I'm Michael from the War and Treaty. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. Only Novo Nordisk makes FDA-approved Ozempic. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5 milligram, 1 milligram, and 2 milligrams.
Another app for inventory, one for CRM. Oh, don't forget accounting. Wait, which login was that?
Or you could use Odoo, one fully integrated system that does it all without the hassle. Ditch the app overload. Get everything your business needs on one platform. Try Odoo free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
What's up, football fans? Picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown in the game, but his teammate scores instead.
If this happens, BetMGM wants to give you another chance at the end zone. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead. That's right. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. With BetMGM's second chance offer, you have a chance to keep the fun going after the first player crosses the goal line. Try a first touchdown scorer wager with confidence today. BetMGM. Make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older. This specific promotional offer is not available in Mississippi, Pennsylvania, Puerto Rico, or Ontario. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 in New York. In Arizona, 1-800-NEXT-STEP. In Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa. 1-800-981-0023 in Puerto Rico. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards paid back in unrestricted withdrawable funds. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Around here, we've got each other's backs. When it comes to health insurance, we want that same kind of support. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City gets that. They're from around here too. Backed by the national strength of the Cross and Shield, they help you make confident choices, no matter where you are. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here for wherever you are. That's the benefit of blue.
Sports brought to you by the Salvation Army and registertoring.com.
Make it a tradition. Grab your friends or family and ring bells together for the Salvation Army. Just 2 hours can change lives this holiday season. Sign up today at registertoring.com. That's registertoring.com.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Salvation Army of Kansas City. You've got a crash down south of downtown, 35 southbound. Just before 27th, the right lane is blocked. Also, 435 southbound past 70, right lane blocked by a two-car crash there from the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center on Val. 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Chris Jones from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Let me give you guys a couple of news and notes. Number one, both Xavier Worthy and Jalen Royals were full participant in practice. Now, I don't know if I feel 100% confident giving a prediction on what's going to happen because I thought he was going to play last week and I ended up being wrong. But if you're a full participant for every day that they have practice, I don't know why you then would be unavailable to play in the game. So I think that is something to note. So based on him being a full participant, if nothing changes in that this week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I am going to go under the guys that he is playing. Is that how you were choosing to operate, Rob, if Xavier Worthy and Jalen Royals are both full participants for every snap available in practice this week?
The fact that he is a full participant makes me think that he will be a full participant in the game as well. That is my belief.
Okay. All right. Just wanted to be sure. I also wanted to update you guys. So Yahoo just put this out. Did you know that Tyquan Thornton, he was the third most added player in fantasy football this week? Let me give you the top 5. Woody Marks, he's the running back for the Texans. Geno Smith was number 4. Tyquan Thornton was number 3. Trey Benson, the running back from the Arizona Cardinals. And Trey Tucker, the number 1 most added player on Yahoo Fantasy. Have you had to make some adjustments with your fantasy roster so far, Rob?
Yeah, because I took Isaiah Pacheco, and I'll tell you something, it's going bad. It's gone not good to have Isaiah Pacheco, so I've had to do some maneuvering on the bench.
What's been your plan B now with Pacheco not getting you the points you needed?
I drafted a plan B because I felt like there's a chance Pacheco might be cooked, but I was believing, so I drafted a backup plan in DeAndre Swift, so I'm okay, but Pacheco's killing me.
I'm just here telling you, Blake Corum was also added this week on a lot of people's roster. Ollie Gordon and Cam Scatterbo. I actually thought Scatterbo would have been a little bit higher up. He's going to be a team's number 1 option. They're going to give him the ball out of the backfield and throw it to him. I don't know why Cam Scatterbo just wasn't higher up in terms of, but maybe a lot of people kind of had him just hoping that what actually ended up happening ended up being the case. So I know that you guys are leery of ever giving the Chargers any amount of credit ever. I get it. And I know I'm called Chargers Dot, and anytime I give you a Chargers opinion, you guys just make fun of me. But I have to give you an observation of the AFC. We have seen 3 weeks I feel like the challengers are starting to emerge. We already know about the big three. I'm not removing the Chiefs from this list. I would say it's very interesting in some ways because you can see that Vegas has shifted on the Chiefs on the day-to-day, but they haven't really shifted that much big picture because I think that the books know, I think that Vegas knows if you're now going to discount the Chiefs in January, a lot of people like myself will just jump in because of all the uncertainty around their offense. What if they do turn things around whenever you get Xavier Worthy, whenever you get Rashee Rice? So we're talking about you're going to go from 7-8 to 1 to now giving me 15-17 to 1. So I'm going to get Mahomes on a January discount. Yes, sign me up for it. So I think what you're seeing is, and it's important to note the teams that they've been underdogs for. They were underdogs with Philadelphia, a team that beat them in the Super Bowl. They're an underdog to the Baltimore Ravens. They'll probably be an underdog against the Detroit Lions. We'll see, but that game's a couple of weeks away. You are seeing that right now you can get the Chiefs at plus money, but they haven't really changed a whole lot of their futures bets in terms of their ability to represent the AFC or them to possibly win the Super Bowl. The division odds have changed, and that makes a lot of sense. One team in their division is 3-0 and beating the three other teams in their division. So as the 3-week mark, I think you have to consider them right now to be the favorites in the AFC West just based off of that fact. I do think we are here. I think there's 5 contenders in the AFC, and I think there's varying degrees. Like, I don't love the Steelers. I don't think they can go to or win the Super Bowl, but there's just not a whole lot of other options right now in the AFC. It's the big three that we talked about at the very beginning of the season. I am unchanged on that. So I'll be unchanged if the Chiefs are 1-3. I'll be unchanged if the Ravens are 1-3. I still think that those two teams, there is far more than enough time for them to get healthy, get right, clear up the things that they need to clear up, and get ready for the second half of the season. So I think it's those 3 teams. I think it's the Chargers and the Steelers. I don't think the Broncos are a Super Bowl caliber team. Maybe I end up being wrong. I just don't think the Broncos are that kind of team. Is there any other team that you're even willing to entertain the possibility in the AFC? I'm sorry. I know the Colts are a nice story. We see a team like the Indianapolis Colts every year in the NFL. I can tell you exactly how the Colts season goes. They win a down division. Houston's not the team that we thought they were going to be. Tennessee is probably 2 years away from being decent. Jacksonville's okay. Maybe Jacksonville ends up grabbing a wild card spot. Maybe they don't. The Colts are a 10-win, maybe 11-win team that kind of benefits from a good schedule. They lose to one of the actual contenders in the first round of the NFL playoffs. Next year, when we make our playoff predictions, we then completely switch it up because we all know the Colts are not making the postseason. I just feel like we already know what's going to happen to the Colts. They're a good team. They're going to beat a lot of people this season. A lot would have to happen for me to change my opinion on the Indianapolis Colts. I think that's the 5. One of those 5 teams are going to represent the AFC. We'll see who gets healthy, who plays right, and how things go. This is what I'm willing to entertain the possibility with the Chargers. What if they're the 2017 Atlanta Falcons? You remember back in 2017, maybe it was 2018, maybe I got my years off by just a little bit. Matt Ryan won MVP that year. Matt Ryan had been a good quarterback, but I don't know if we consider Matt Ryan to be a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. The Falcons, they weren't the Falcons for the entire stretch. And then one year, you know what? They had Kyle Shanahan, Dan Quinn, and they got everything right at one time. That's when they had Devontae Freeman, and they had Julio Jones, and they had all of these things. And the Falcons ended up being a pretty good team. That Falcons team lost in the Super Bowl and never really got close to going to another one. They were just a team that were good. They got great in the right year. They didn't capitalize on their window. That window closed, and then we just kind of all moved on from it. I'm not saying that's who the Chargers are definitively. I'm telling you that I'm opening my mind to the possibility of that being the case. I'm seeing a team that looks pretty well-rounded. I'm seeing a team that looks pretty complete. I'm seeing a team that I think can match up with these other teams fairly well, and I'm interested to see how this goes. I will give the Chargers this. No one does it until they actually do it. That's what a first time is. We didn't think that this guy could do it until he eventually broke through, kind of like Matt Ryan. I imagine there was a time that you didn't think Cam Newton could take a team to a Super Bowl. He did. We saw Jalen Hurts do it. So I'm not crowning the Chargers. There's obviously a lot of football left to be played. But I think if you look at the Chargers, you look at their schedule, you look at their coach and their quarterback, I think the floor for the Chargers is around 11 wins. I think they're going to be able to rack up a whole lot of wins. Look at their schedule for the next month. I think we're talking about a team that gets off to a 6-1, 7-1 kind of start. I think you're going to have to deal with the Chargers from now until January, and we'll see how they perform once it gets colder.
I will say one thing quick and open to break. Those Vegas numbers, the fact that the Chiefs are dogs and will likely be dogs maybe another couple of times for their weeks, makes me think one thing about Vegas. And Vegas always knows. That's the joke. They think the Chiefs are going to become the Chiefs again. They just think it's going to happen post Rashee Rice. They think, okay, the Lions might get them. The Ravens might get them. I think they'll be a favorite against the Jags. But they think, okay, 2-4, the Chiefs are going to be the Chiefs again. So Vegas hasn't moved on the Chiefs. They just think Rashee Rice is the catalyst for them becoming the Chiefs because those dog behavior is early in the season.
Someone on the text line says, CDOT, it's only week 4. The Chargers haven't chargered yet. You're right, 100%. That's why I use the example of the Falcons. The Falcons, they didn't go full Falcons until the second half of the Super Bowl. They were really, really good up until that point. So I'm not telling you that I'm putting the Chargers in that conversation, but I think you are doing yourself a disservice if you are going to completely discount this Chargers team. They got a lot of the things that you would need to be a good football team. Good head coach, capable quarterback. Their weapons are pretty good. Their defense is pretty capable. They got a favorable schedule. The Chargers got a lot of things to rack up a whole bunch of wins and really throw a wrench in the plans of these other teams in the AFC. Why couldn't they be the Bengals from a couple of years ago? That Bengals team, it kind of pop up. The Bengals were good for those 2 years, and now the Bengals, they haven't made the playoffs, and they lost their quarterback. We just see these one-off teams kind of pop up. I'm at least open to the possibility that maybe this year the Chargers are that team. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for K-State Athletics, 96.5. The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
It's Pro Savings Days at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances and save an additional $1,000 when you buy 4 select LG major appliances. Plus, get a free DeWalt 20-volt max 5 amp-hour battery when you buy a select DeWalt 20-volt max tool. Get the job done for less at Lowe's. We help, you save. Valid through 9/26. Selection varies by location while supplies last. See associate or Lowe's.com for more details and qualifying items.
What's up, everybody? Nick Costos here with the Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM. Make it legendary. Please gamble responsibly. Coming up week 4, Pro Football Sunday, Detroit, a 9-point home favorite over Cleveland. Total in the game, 44.5. And both teams with impressive wins this past weekend. Cleveland upsetting Green Bay and Detroit smacking around Baltimore on Monday night. And as far as betting this game goes, I think the point spread's a little too big, and I do like Cleveland at +9. Cleveland's defense is excellent, and Cleveland has a good interior defensive line, which Baltimore did not. Detroit will not run like they did against Baltimore. So on Sunday, let's go Cleveland +9. That's it for this Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM. Download the BetMGM app today, and please gamble responsibly.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Looking to drive your finances downfield? Main Street Credit Union is the hometown team you can trust. We help you build credit, lower monthly expenses, and finance with confidence. Or if you need a loan to grow your small business, we've got flexible options and no hidden fees. At Main Street, it's not just about the win, it's about keeping Kansas City moving forward. One goal, 1 yard, 1 member at a time. Get in the game at mainstreetcu.org.
Hey, it's Rex here with RexBuysKC.com, your local KC home buyer. If you own a property in the Kansas City or surrounding area and want to sell it fast and at a fair price, write this number down, 816-330-6000. I'm a private real estate investor, not some hedge fund or large national chain. My family and I live right here in KC. I can pay cash and close on your timeline. even in as little as 3 days. Here at RexBuysKC.com, we're improving Kansas City one house at a time. I buy inherited houses, vacant houses, foreclosure houses, behind in payment houses, my tenant won't pay the rent houses, and properties that need complete rehabs. Do you own a house that's trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at this number, 816-330-6000. That's 816-330-6000, or go to RexBuysKC.com. That's RexBuysKC.com, and I look forward to working with you.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Metal by the Foot, your metal project superstore.
At Metal by the Foot, we pride ourselves on delivering the highest quality metal to meet your exact needs. Located in Casey and Topeka, online at metalbythefoot.com. When you need a piece of metal, remember, metal doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg, just the foot.
What's up, football fans? Picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown in the game, but his teammate scores instead. If this happens, BetMGM wants to give you another chance at the end zone. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead. That's right. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. With BetMGM's second chance offer, you have a chance to keep the fun going after the first player crosses the goal line. Try a first touchdown scorer wager with confidence today. BetMGM. Make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older. This specific promotional offer is not available in Mississippi, Pennsylvania, Puerto Rico, or Ontario. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 in New York. In Arizona, 1-800-NEXT-STEP. In Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa. 1-800-981-0023 in Puerto Rico. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards paid back in unrestricted withdrawable funds. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Park & Go, the best deals on airport parking.
Don't fumble your airport parking. Score big with Park & Go. All covered parking, fast and free shuttles, and open 24/7. For the best deals in airport parking, reserve your spot now at bookparkandgo.com. Park & Go, family owned and fan approved.
Hey, September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, which is the second common form of cancer among men. There are many risk factors like age, race, and family history, but there are lifestyle and prevention tips to help minimize your risk of prostate cancer. Eat a balanced diet rich in fruits, vegetables, and lean proteins. Stay active with regular exercise. Maintain a healthy weight. Limit high-fat and processed foods. Don't smoke. Guys, encourage men in your life to talk to their doctor about prostate health. Zero's Run Walk is coming to Kansas City. Help raise funds and awareness for prostate cancer. Early detection saves lives. Don't wait. Visit kcuc.com today. At KCUC, you see the best in KC.
Well hit. Go ball. Gone! Royals fans, FanDuel Sports Network is your TV home and streaming home of the Royals. Beautiful. And there are more ways to watch this season. Unbelievable! Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network to stream the Royals without blackouts. Yes! Or watch through a TV provider. Right down the middle. Including DirecTV, Spectrum, Xfinity, Fubo, Cox, and more. Love it! Learn more at royals.com/tune in. They are relentless!
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Metal by the Foot. Two problems near Blue Springs, and that's 470 southbound past 40 Highway. The right lane is blocked and a crash. 470 also southbound, just past Lakewood Boulevard, right lane blocked from the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center on Val 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome to your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Someone just texted in, is the Ravens defense as good as people claim, or are they getting the benefit of the doubt from the past seasons? No one is claiming the Ravens defense is good right now. They're actually 31st in points allowed this season. This is my official stance on the Ravens defense. They have given up points to the Bills and the Lions. I would say two of the five best offenses in the league. Now, those two teams, They scored a lot. I mean, they gave up 41 points to the Bills and they gave up 38 points to the Lions. So, I mean, eventually you got to figure out a way to stop those teams. If you can't stop those teams, very difficult to go to the Super Bowl. Those are the kinds of teams that you play in January. I'm really curious to see what the Ravens defense looks like against Kansas City. Kansas City doesn't have the weapons that those first two teams have, but they got a good coach. They got a good quarterback. They're at home. I do think in some ways people have been talking about the Ravens defense like it's the Cowboys. Like the Cowboys defense, I mean, Russell Wilson threw for 450 yards against them. I'm not sure if Russell Wilson will ever start again in the National Football League. Like, just think about that. He threw for 450 against them, and he got sat 2 games later. Done. We're not starting you again this season. So that's one side of it. The next week, Caleb Williams then had his best game against them. Like, it might just be one of those things where you might just need to go against the guy that plays against the Cowboys defense. So I don't know yet if I'm ready to put the Ravens defense in that conversation. We'll see. If the Chiefs move the ball very easily against the Ravens and this offense hangs up a big number against the Ravens, they got some serious problems on defense. This Chiefs team shouldn't be hanging 41 points on anybody right now. They might be at that point when they get Rashee Rice back, when Xavier Worthy is back. Not right now. Not what I've seen what the Chiefs offense can do so far. So if the Chiefs go out and cook that Ravens defense, that tells me that the Ravens, they got some serious problems on defense. But I'm not ready to put that Cowboys hex on them yet. I'm not there yet.
I'm far closer to that than you. I know they shut down or stopped or slowed the Browns, but
that also doesn't count to me either. Like, I'm just saying, like, that's what I mean. Like, you giving up points to the Lions doesn't show me that you're a bad defense. You shutting down the Browns doesn't show me that you are a good defense. You're going up against, I think the Chiefs are a middle-of-the-road offense right now. They're ranked 21st. They're probably a little bit better than that. They are a middle-of-the-road offense. The Chiefs don't have the weapons to hang 38 on you. They don't have the weapons to hang 40 on you. So if they go out there and do that to this Ravens defense, then I got some serious questions about Baltimore.
I guess, and maybe the way we feel about Kansas City affects this. I'm going to remain unchanged in the Ravens and still think their defense is kind of bad because they can't stop good offenses. And even if they stop the Chiefs, we don't think the Chiefs' offense is very good right now. So if the Ravens' defense plays well on Sunday, I'm not going to come on here and be like, look, it's real. It's just a tough early week. I'm going to say, yeah, they're good against bad offenses. Let me see them against the good ones, because even if they shut down the Chiefs, I would tell you it's a sign of opponent-driven more than anything.
We'll start the full look ahead tomorrow. We are going to have our first Ravens guest of the weekend tomorrow on the show. We'll talk a little bit of college football as well. Missouri ends their non-con. KU has a home conference game against Cincinnati. We also got 2 major college football games coming up this weekend as well. So we'll really start the transition looking ahead to week 4 in the National Football League coming up tomorrow. I had a lot of fun today. Hopefully you guys did as